New York, an Odyssey sports station. WFAN Sports Flash.
And this Rutgers Report is brought to you by RWJ Barnabas Health, the official healthcare provider of Rutgers Athletics. Let's be healthy together. The football team suffered a tough loss to Illinois last week. Greg Schiano was worried about Illini quarterback Luke Altmaier, who wound up throwing for 235 and 4 touchdowns. Well, tomorrow they take on Maryland, and he's quite familiar with quarterback Malik Washington.
Certainly have a huge challenge. Young quarterback, but immensely talented. We know him well. We recruited him out of Bishop Spalding High School, great program down there. Malik is everything you want in a quarterback. He's big, he's strong, got great arm talent, tremendous human being, everything you want in a quarterback. So we have our hands full.
Rutgers and Maryland on the Fan tomorrow. Chris Carlin and Mike Teal have the call at 2:30. Meantime, the men's basketball team opened the new season with a blowout win over Ryder Wednesday. Tariq Francis says played well defensively.
Going into this game, the focus was definitely on defense, and we knew they had some good guards and good players, so we wanted to make sure that we helped each other out, and we were all there. So going into it, we wanted to make sure that we all locked in and we all played together.
Rutgers plays Maine Monday night. The women's team beat Quinnipiac last night 64-55. Men's soccer plays at number 25 Indiana this evening at 8. It's 52 in Central Park. That's the Rutgers Report. I'm Jerry Recco on Sports Radio 1019 FM The Fan.
It's Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata on WFAN The Fan, 1019 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
BT, another Football Friday here. 2 losing teams to discuss, and the top story is going to continue to be the status of Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. Now, we've talked about this throughout the course of the week. I guess there were some developments yesterday on the afternoon show talking about the story that the Giants almost fired Daboll. That's great. Almost fired him. Did they or did they not?
They almost won the lottery, too. Almost.
He's still the head coach, so I'm not getting into the whole reports or conflicting. I couldn't care less. Good for Sean. Good for the people on social media who had it. I really don't care. What I care is what is. And what is Brian Daboll is currently the head coach of the New York Football Giants, and maybe these final 8 games, he could do something to determine his fate. I would have already made that decision. I know where you stand on that. My biggest concern with this whole thing is that it just feels like the Giants. Now, I could be wrong. Again, I'm not pretending to be reporting anything here, but just from the stuff that we hear and some of the stuff that is being reported, it just feels like within the Giants organization that, and this goes back to even last year, that they would keep Schoen and not Daboll. And I think that that's the worst thing they could do. And even with the young rookie quarterback, stud rookie quarterback, with all the potential and excitement, there's still such a dark cloud over this organization with now the uncertainty of Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll.
Yeah, and I think it's going to get darker. I really do. I think that the one thing you can't have happen the rest of the way is complete and utter turmoil and disarray. And on the heels of the report and the conversation yesterday that you just referenced with Sean and some others, like, all right, if they were going to fire him after the Denver game and they decided not to, well, that shows you what they really think of him, and you're probably one bad game away maybe from being fired this season. And listen, I think everything's on the table at this point here. When you look at the next 8 games, see, the next 4 are an opportunity for every anti-Daboll voice to say, because I don't think they're going to win this weekend. And if they do, that changes things a little bit. But if they don't beat the Bears, I don't think you're beating Green Bay, the Lions, or up in New England either. So there's a very good chance they lose their next 4. And if the Bears game particularly is ugly, if it is ugly, I think we might get some swift action right after that game.
I was going to say, they still have the bye week coming in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I would now, and this week I've been saying just end it already. And I'm not trying to get people to lose their jobs. And I've been a Daboll supporter, so this is not a Daboll witch hunt like some others in the media. I just feel like I personally have reached the conclusion that it's time for a change. And we would have done that a year ago. I gave out hope that he could get things going with Jackson Dart. And even with the success of finding the rookie quarterback and having some success, it's still not good enough because of the defense, because of the kicking situation, because of the way they cough up leads. It's just the whole thing for me is not good enough. I would make that decision now. Move on from Schoen, move on from Daboll, so you don't have all this nonsense and speculation, and it could just be about trying to finish as strong as they can with Kafka handling the reins here and having the Giants look to the future by knowing they're going to need to replace these two.
I got to say one thing, though, because you just said it, and I've said it as well, and we say it because we're sensitive to people's livelihoods, really.
Wow.
And it's coming from a very good place, right? But, like, in what world do we have to offer context to providing, strong opinions on somebody's job security when all you do is lose.
Right.
I mean, like if we were having this conversation about Aaron Glenn, like maybe
Right.
some people were, before they beat Cincinnati, or if they don't win again the rest of the way, which, by the way, obviously Glenn's coming back next year. But, maybe that's where you want to offer a little bit more contextualization. Like, hey, because it's 1 year, 2-7, 2-7, 2-7. What are we doing? It's like we're jumping through hoops and skipping rope and going through all these physical and mental gymnastics to explain why we don't think that Brian Dable should be back for year 5 when the last 3 have been terrible.
Right. There's no.
What are we doing?
I do understand the thought process of not wanting to blow everything up, and especially when you feel like they identified their franchise quarterback and have shown that they could have some success. However, you can't sit there with a straight face and tell me that you don't think you could do better than Brian Dable and Joe Shane. And look at their record for the 4 years. It's just not good enough. So you're going to hold out the hope that maybe Dable can get a turnaround next year with Jackson Dart? He might be able to. Nobody's saying definitively that they're going to win 3 games again or 2 games again through the first 9 next year. You don't know. You would hope it would be better with Neighbors back, with Scadaboo, with a whole nother year. But I can't guarantee that. And the way that Joe Shane has picked players and the way that things have gone, and there's a litany of reasons. It's not just the records off of 1 bad year. It's a culmination of 4 years of ineptitude to the highest levels, futility to the highest levels, a horrific record.
In the division,
oh my God,
against Philly and Dallas. I mean, embarrassed very, very often. Think about this. Imagine if Aaron Boone had 3 straight years of 74 wins, right? Or Mendoza won 72 games 3 years in a row. Or Tom Thibodeau, or now Mike Brown, had records of 29 and whatever the rest of the math is to equal 82. I haven't had enough coffee yet to get that very quickly. Is anybody getting on the air saying, well, I don't know if we should make a change. I just don't understand. And I am not trying to be callous, but I guess I'm done presenting this softly. Like the Giants, the standard has to be the standard.
Think about it.
I don't get this.
I love that you just brought in the other examples in this town. Find me the other combination in this town that has failed worse than Shane and Dable and is still around.
Yeah, the only thing that was close, and it wasn't even to this extent, was the was the Douglas and Robert Saleh.
And they're gone.
And it wasn't even as bad as this.
That's my point. They're gone, right? So the Rangers went with the new head coach when even their prior regime had more success than Shane and Dable have ever had. New head coach. Carlos Mendoza is on the hot seat going in year 3 after taking a Mets team to the NLCS a couple of years ago.
Yep.
He's on the hot seat, and his team won 83 games. Like, the equivalent is not even fair.
No, that's why I went with 72 games, or
it's not even close.
I don't even know if that's fair. It's probably in the 60s. That's why I bring that up. I just
Cashman and Boone.
Yeah, well, exactly.
People call all the time talking about firing those guys. All they do is win every year and get to the postseason. It's not even close.
I'm not even saying that it should be. Maybe in the eyes of some, it's a little different for Cashman because there was so much success. Right. So there's a different layer of analysis here. But if you didn't have any prior, like if you didn't carve out this legacy here, like Cashman, I love or hate Cashman, the guy's going to be in the Hall of Fame, right? I believe that, and I think many other people around baseball do.
Earned it.
He's earned it with all the championship. He's been a great executive, even if we're tired of it a little bit.
And the sustained success, even without the championships. I know that that's a huge part of it, but show me the other franchise in sports, period, that has had as much sustained success for 30 freaking years than the New York Yankees.
Well, there is none. And that's really what I'm saying here, Sal. Think about this. So we go through this every single summer about Cashman, to a lesser extent to Aaron Boone. Whenever the Yankees get banged out in October, which is always before we want them to, we go through the same conversations. What about the manager? What about the GM? What about ownership? But yet here we are talking about the Giants like, I don't know. Should the Giants move on from Brian Dable? What do you think? They don't win.
We need to start raising the expectations. And that's why I would just stop the... Now, look, you alluded to this the other day. I don't even want to get into the health part of it because it's just such a horrible thing. And that's beyond sports. That's much more important. Mr. Mara and his battle with his illness and his life, that's much more important than the results of sports. But what we do is talk about the sports. So I understand that that's going to be... it's going to alter maybe the timeline of some of these decisions or maybe have some kind of impact that we don't necessarily want to get into. But if you just go based off of what they have done here, you can't tell me that Mr. Mara gave Dable and Shane every opportunity to succeed here. He was patient. He gave them chances, multiple quarterbacks. It's definitive in my mind that they need to move on and they can do better. We need to start raising our expectations here. Okay, there's potential. Great, they got the quarterback. Now find somebody who can actually win some football games or draft players that can help you win some football games. Shane has been awful at his job, and Dable has not been anywhere near good enough.
We're on the same page here, and the Dable stuff is probably a little bit easier because we can just point to 2-7, 2-7, 2-7, whatever, the things that are a little bit more tangible. Whereas with Shane, I think in the eyes of some, Joe probably gets... not our eyes, but in the eyes of some, maybe a little separation from Dable or a reprieve or maybe even a respite from being possibly fired.
I'd like to know how.
Well, that's where I'm going. Like, what's the justification for that? The Giants have injuries, which every other team in the NFL does. Look at the depth. I mean, the depth is directly correlated to the general manager doing his job at a high level. So, to me, there's really two ways to look at this, right? Number one, do you think that those two men have gotten a fair shake? And to me, it is unequivocally yes. Right. They've had a long runway, with all due respect, to get this thing going. The other point of analysis would be, and this is more about Dable, do you want to risk the marriage or the relationship, the comfort level, however you want to frame it, the ascent of Jackson Dart by taking away a head coach that he's obviously played pretty well for? And my answer will be yes, because I think there's other coaches who would be better at all the other stuff and would be equally successful with Jackson Dart.
BT and Sal on the Fan. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Dom is in Westport starting us off. What's up, Dom?
Hello, Dom.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
What's up, buddy?
Great show as always. First of all, Sal, thanks for turning me on to the Denver Broncos. I've made some good money with them the last few weeks.
It didn't cover last night.
Didn't make it last night.
But I also did warn you about that last night.
You did. You said don't touch.
Right read last night.
Yeah. And I said take the points.
Yeah.
You said don't touch.
Well,
I said take the points.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. But you know, the last couple of weeks they did cover. But you know, in terms of Dable's dead man walking, and I want to make a reference to Denver. How about Vance Joseph? You know, he was a head coach. He's been under a couple of good OCs, right? A good head coaches in terms of offense, Cliff Kingsbury and Sean Payton. And look what he's done with that defense. And the Giants definitely have enough horses on that defense to really maybe turn this thing around. And he wasn't terrible with Denver. I mean, he was 5-11, 6-10 without a great team. You know, no real great quarterback. So what do you think about that?
Yeah.
I mean, Vance Joseph does he get you excited at all? Not at all for me. Thank you, Dom.
But I understand why Dom would bring that up. I think a lot of Giant fans are in alignment here thinking, well, we got potential on this defense. We need to figure that out because we like the young quarterback and the offense has not been the problem. Even without Scadaboo, without Neighbors, the offense is not the primary issue. I'm not saying it's been great. It's not the problem. The problem is the defense. Can't do anything. And they were supposed to be the identity of this team coming in. So I understand the appeal of a guy like Vance Joseph. However, come on. This is New York here. It's the Giants. Enough with the maybe type guy. Yeah, there's potential there. Oh, this one side of the ball. Just go get a real, no doubt about it, head coach for a team.
You got to get a guy who's going to show up, and hopefully he can flash a little bling at that podium. You know, not in an arrogant way, but everybody knows that man's got a Super Bowl ring on that finger. And to me, the more I think about this, that man looks like McCarthy. I don't know that they would ever do this. I would give serious consideration. I've staved off the Rex Ryan to the Jets, you know, before Aaron Glenn and before others. I just felt like that ship has sailed. I don't think he's a great head coach. If I'm the Giants and I really want to be a little bit out of the box and get somebody that can galvanize the defense, get the fans pumped up, and also bring some championship DNA, how about a ticket of McCarthy as the head coach and Rex as the DC?
Yeah, I don't think Rex wants to come back as a DC.
I don't know. I mean, you don't know until you ask him. I mean, maybe he's getting tired sitting at that desk. He's been at that desk for a long time.
I think maybe at some point he wants to get back in and knows that he doesn't have any power because he didn't want to come back in as anything other than a head coach.
No one's hiring him as a head coach is what I'm saying, so that might be his way back in.
I think we can come up with a bunch of different names that are intriguing. We also don't know how things are going to shake out the rest of the way. But if you fire Dable now and get a head start on things, to me, that is advantageous as opposed to waiting things through. Now, my bigger concern than that, because there will be other options, and I would bet it's more likely than not Dable is going to be out, especially if those reports are true that they were going to fire him. I don't think you go from we're going to fire him to...
Dude, he's a 3-year extension.
Yeah, all of a sudden keeping him. My bigger concern is Joe Schoen. I think Joe Schoen is worse at his job than Brian Dable is at his. So to me, even if you fire Dable, and fans are going to be excited about that, or not excited, but just excited about the change, okay, let's get a new head coach in here and maybe overlook the importance of Schoen. And I think that's the bigger issue. So to me, it doesn't matter who the head coach is, unless it's somebody that's going to come in and have more power than Joe Schoen. But outside of that type of hire, it doesn't matter if you're keeping Joe Schoen in the building.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that we're getting very close to here, especially with this report, again, the depth of it, what's true, and I'm not here to refute anybody's report or work. I don't do that. But but let's assume that it's true, and for the most part, I do. The one thing you can't have the rest of the way is like disarray. And that's why it's one of the first things I said to start the show. And I think we're getting perilously close to that. Now, Shane's not involved in the disarray because you don't hear from Shane on a day-to-day basis. He's in the weeds, and, we could deal with that at the end of the season. But if they come back from Chicago in a body bag and they just look lifeless and they get out-coached and they get punked, I mean... how do you keep this thing going? I mean, how do you not make them? And then you're looking at Green Bay, you're looking at Detroit, up in New England. You can't just have it where it's a death march to the plank. That's why, even if it was Kafka, who I don't know if he would be a good head coach, maybe just a different energy or a different message. You got a lot of football to go. And you got 8 games to go, Sal.
And knowing that change is coming, I think, is the most, at least you're giving the fan base, hey, we know that this is unacceptable. We tried it. We were patient. Change is coming.
Correct.
Don't worry, Giant fans. Dean is calling from Manhattan. What's up, Dean?
Hey, fellas. Love your show. First things is go Johnnies.
Yes. Big one tomorrow, Dean. Let's go.
Yeah. Looking forward to it, man.
Me too.
But this year with the Giants compared to last year, 2 things. The offensive scoring is about 5 points better this year than last year. But the defensive average scoring between this year and last year is 10 points more. Mm-hmm. So defense is where we are sorely lacking. And, Shane is just not doing it. You see with the frustration with Brian Burns, And I don't know if you remember, I looked at the highlights back in the day during Parcells and the Giants
glory days.
The glory days indeed. Oh, my God. But you remember there was like this scene that was showing where Belichick was talking to the defense?
Yes, on the bench, yeah.
And then Parcells walks over and says something to Belichick like, hey, like, take care of this or look at this or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then Bill Belichick, the old-time coach, right? Parcells telling Bill Belichick, hey, make sure you got this covered. Make sure you got that covered. And Belichick turns and is like, yeah, we got it. Mm-hmm. So you don't see that, I don't think, on the sideline this year with the Giant coach.
Dean, I don't think you see that too often around the NFL. Thanks for the call. It's a good point. Like, one of my issues with Dable, whether it's Graham Gano, whether it's the defense, like, yeah, you're in charge, man. You're the CEO. Like, the Bucs got to stop with you at some point. So I understand that, and I that's a great video where Parcells comes over to Belichick. He's like, I got you. We're good. But I don't really think that offensive-minded coaches around the NFL, not just the Giants, I feel like they're in their little bubble, and they let their defensive guys do their job, not like the old days where the head coach was kind of involved in everything.
There aren't enough head coaches. Guys get head coaching jobs that are either offensive minds or defensive minds. I want a head coach. And I still think that Dable has, like, if I believe that years ago, I still believe it now that Dable, I don't think he's a bad football coach, put it that way. He's the way he's worked up, his resume, all that stuff, who he worked under. Yep. I believe there's still potential there. I just think it's time for a change here, and too much has gone wrong with Brian Dable with the Giants. So you could say the same thing for other coaches, too, that have failed here before, go on to have success elsewhere. I wouldn't be stunned if that's the case. As far as being a head coach, when you hire a first-time head coach, there's going to be a learning curve. And by year 4, it should be better than what it's been right now. They're still losing football games the same way, even with some of the character traits that he has. Back to the caller's point, I do believe it's not. I don't look at him and just say he's an offensive mind. Mm-hmm. Although the way the defenses played, they were better under Wink than they were under Bowen, and it does feel like, just hire Bowen, let him go out there, play a conservative style of defense, and we should be able to do enough overall. The special teams have been bad. He hasn't had a grasp on everything, but I think I think he's got the potential to be a good head coach, just not here and not anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's I'm obviously with you here. And, in a lot of ways, and that's kind of stinks for Brian Daboll, but it is what it is. The circumstances of how he started, kind of created this template of expectations, and we were all feeling it. Just think about it. Number one, they had a really good first year. We know that. But think about his first game. Here he is chewing out Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
he's
right.
going for the extra. He's going for the 2-point. Like, you're seeing an aggressive mindset. Just like the sweatshirt. He just looked like the Giants. Like, he looked like he fit the Giants organization. And then things unraveled. Who knows? If they go 3 was that a 17-game season? Yeah, it was. If they go 3 wins that first year, right, instead of 9 wins and winning a road playoff game, is there incremental progress enough that would justify him to still be on path to get the job done? You might be able to make that case.
Especially without Daniel Jones, because he probably wouldn't have been back. And,
correct.
Now you start that clock earlier. What if they selected a guy like Jackson Dart year 2 with Brian Daboll?
Then now he's probably you're building monuments to the guy. So when you go 9 wins and then you go back down to 3 and 4 and you just languish and you're drafting top 5, top 6 as they have been for a while, it's like, whoa, you started well, now you're going backwards versus maybe Aaron Glenn. Maybe Aaron goes 2-15 this year or 3-14 max, and then next year he wins 5 or 6. But like, oh, okay, here they are incrementally building. It's the opposite for Daboll.
BT and Sal on the Fan. More your calls when we come back. We'll get into the Jets as well. We have Nick Costos later on, go over the full slate for Week 10. Perfect Parlay pick segment as well. For over 92 years, Approved Oil has been the leading heating oil dealer in New York. And right now, with low rates, it's the perfect time to lock in your price for winter before cold weather pushes prices up. Don't wait. Call today and lock in your savings and enjoy a worry-free season. Approved Oil has been delivering a brighter, warmer tomorrow for almost a century. Backed by superior services and unmatched reliability, when it comes to your home heat, it has to be Approved Oil. Visit freezerate.com or call 718-238-1050.
The Nets are back in Brooklyn taking on the Pistons. 7:30 tonight. The home of Brooklyn Nets basketball is The Fan. 101.9 FM and always streaming on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio app.
So, there's this guy, Paul Rivera, grew up in the Bronx. Made some mistakes, but eventually becomes one of those hard-working citizens who keep our city going. But he gets pulmonary fibrosis, and his only hope is a lung transplant. When one hospital, Montefiore Einstein, get him a new lung, and they give him a new life. Right. Everyone in his neighborhood is like,
they give that guy a new lung or a new motor.
The story, Mr. Giamatti. Well, you ought to know, Mr. Rivera. You lived it.
Everyone loves a comeback. Montefiore Einstein, national leader in transplant.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Well, think again. Bring in your AT&T and T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store, and they'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Ever seen an origami version of the Statue of Liberty? Jokes aside, Verizon has the most ways to save with phone deals, streaming, and plans where everybody in the family can choose their own plan and save. So, bring your bill to your local Verizon store, and they'll give you a better deal.
Rankings based on Root Metrics Root Score Report dated 1/8/2025. Your results may vary. Requires postpaid consumer mobile bill from T-Mobile or AT&T dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms apply.
FanDuel Friday is turning it up with NBA Happy Hour. Every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, FanDuel is dropping limited time specials to get you in the zone. Boosts, bonuses, surprises, all designed to bring that Friday energy. This isn't just another promo. It's your weekly pregame. NBA Happy Hour every Friday, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Visit FanDuel.com/GIO to grab your reward before the clock expires. That's FanDuel.com/GIO. We just love the app around here. It's safe and secure, and when you win, you get paid fast. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of WFAN. 21 and over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amounts. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is here for the holidays. Enjoy a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium iced or hot coffee, all for $6. It's got everything you need to keep your holiday season running. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead directly on the Dunkin' app. After all, the holidays run on Dunkin'. No substitutions, participation and times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
At Audi Manhattan, experience best-in-class service in the heart of New York. Visit their Audi flagship store today, conveniently located on 55th and 11th. Audi Manhattan, where luxury meets excellence.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Every now and then I rinse it out, and I need Downy rinse tonight. And I need it more. My kick myself in and the smell never leaves. I don't know what to do. I'm always in the dark. The sweat and dead short smells like a dark car. Downy rinse it tonight.
Downy Rinse fights stubborn odors in just one wash. When impossible odors get stuck in,
Rinse it out.
this is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Talk New York sports here. The Fan.
I'm gonna run all over you. I'm looking for you.
BT's now back on the Fan on this Football Friday, 888-808-1019. And to me, the worst thing the Giants can do, this is how bad I think it would be, BT, if they kept Joe Schoen and fired Brian Daboll. I would rather, as much as I wanted both of them, gone here so the Giants could get better. That's the end of at the end of the day, what we all want is for the Giants to get better. Okay, so if we believe that would be by letting go of Schoen and Daboll, that's why we're saying that. But I think the worst thing you could do would be keeping Schoen and firing Daboll. So much so that I would rather them both be back next year than having Daboll gone and Schoen still here. I wouldn't like it if you said they're both coming back another year, but at least that to me is not the worst option. The worst thing they could do by far would be firing Daboll and keeping Joe Schoen. I just don't understand that thought process at all.
Now, is it because, I know this part of the answer. It's because we don't think Joe's done a good job, which I'm with you, but is it also because it's just the wrong way to do business in the NFL?
Both. He has not done a good job. Should be end of story right there. B, it's not the right way to do business because now you're going to have a guy who has sucked at his job for 4 years select another head coach? You don't get that. So then what happens? Then let's say that this next head coach that he selects has some success with Jackson Dart, but the record's still not there. What do you think is going to happen? Are they both going to get... If Joe Schoen gets to pick another head coach, how many more years does that guarantee Joe Schoen?
Yeah, I get your point. Probably at least two, maybe a third, depending upon how it goes.
And what if he shockingly, continues to not draft well or bring in the right players?
Yeah.
Then what? You're going to fire him, but keep that?
That's a bad situation. I don't think that. I was going to say I don't think that they would do that, but I don't know. They could.
I'm not going based off of my own intel. I'm just saying that there have been the report. It was reported a year ago. It was reported earlier this week by the Post.
That's how we start a Monday show. Split ticket or Tuesday.
And just the more that this goes on, and then you're starting to hear the stuff about, they almost fired Daboll. I feel like and even last year, you could tell, to your point earlier about how Daboll was in year one,
mm-hmm.
I think he's been neutered to a certain extent as each year has gone on.
Yeah, well, you know why.
Of course.
When you don't win, how do you get up there with any confidence? And how do you set the tone when you don't win?
Understood.
You can't.
Understood, but Joe Schoen hasn't been neutered. As a matter of fact, Joe Schoen has been praised publicly.
But we don't have to hear from Joe all the time, so it's a little bit easier for him to keep a stiff upper lip, you know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about from the top.
Oh, like protected, kind of like the way he's viewed?
The message last year was what? they were saying that Joe Shane had a good draft. And I'm saying, well, if that's the case, how come they don't win any football games? If all these players that this guy selected are so good, which is what they were trying to tell me, then I ask the very simple question, why aren't they good enough to win games? So the support, it seemed, from ownership was in one direction with Joe Shane, and that still feels like it continues to be the case, whereas Dable is the hot-headed, loudmouth,
expendable type.
Yeah.
That's the way it seems.
And that's just it's not right. Both should go or both should stay.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You shouldn't keep one and not the other. And if anything, if I were going to keep one, it would be Dable based on what he's done in year one and then selecting Dart and developing Dart in year 4.
Listen, when you're bad for a long time, it's not just because you can't identify, and I'm not even talking about the Giants, just in general. It's not just because you can't draft the right quarterback or, you make some sloppy free agent signings or because you have some very unfortunate injuries or you hire the wrong coordinator. You are generally bad for the better part of 10, 12, 15 years, like both of these teams, when you make when you botch fundamental decisions. And to me, I think one of the basic fundamental decisions would be moving forward for the Giants, clean break. To your point, clean break. Now,
Fundy, that's a fundamental decision. Right?
Yeah, I think there's certain circumstances, like say if you have a great head coach, right? Even if you have a good head coach and you have, a general manager who's okay, but there's a personality conflict and you decide to go with one and get rid of the other. Or you can even invert that. And you like the GM, slightly better than the head coach. Both are good. Neither are great. Neither are horrible. But one guy just can't get along with anybody in the building. All right, head coach, you get lost. And we'll have the head coach, the GM who we don't love, and we're going to let him make another hire even though we don't love him. Like, I know that there are circumstances that could lead to that. This should not be one of them. Brian Dable has not done a good enough job. Neither has the general manager. And for one of them to be on a higher ground, safer and drier than the other, doesn't make any sense to me.
And it's unfortunate because to me it all dates back to the way that they inherited the Giants and the way that the quarterback and running back were kind of forced on them. But I don't care anymore about how it started. I care about what we've seen for 4 years. But I do blame ownership in that regard, kind of forcing Daniel Jones on that regime, because you mentioned clean break. Well, what should happen in a clean break is exactly what we've seen with the Jets. Doubt Aaron Glenn or Muji all you want, and nobody knows. It's year one. But at least it was a clean break for a chance, for a change. And now they go out there and try to rebuild this thing their way. That's how it should be in year one. And definitively by year 3 and 4, we will say, this is what they did, good or bad, it's on them. We can't say that, unfortunately, about the Giants because for the first year, they had Daniel Jones forced on him, and then it was, okay, well, maybe he can make the most of Daniel Jones. And then year 2, disaster. Year 3, again, with the quarterback that maybe they didn't want because they didn't handpick him, they were given him, they had to extend him. That's a knock on Shane, the handling of Barkley, all that. And then the results for the first 3 years are obviously held against them. But if it were a clean break, we would know definitively if they were able to select their quarterback and develop him by year 4, not have year 1 be year 4.
I just don't get the praise for Joe. I really don't. Yeah. You talk about depth, and nobody wants to talk about backup nickel corners, whatever. But where is the depth? That's the obvious part. And think about where the resources have been devoted. I mean, outside of the Slayton contract, which was idiotic, 3 years, $36 million, and Andrew Thomas rightfully is making some big money as a superstar left tackle when he's healthy, there's no real finances devoted on the offensive side of the ball. It's all on the defensive side. Who did all that? Shane. Now Burns is great, but who drafted Kayvon? Who extended some of these players? And when the defense is that bad and the stats bear this out, I'm not really looking at Dable for that. I'm looking at Joe Shane because he's the general manager.
How's the kicking situation? Who's going to take
good as ever?
I mean, that shouldn't take 4 years to figure it out, meaning to evaluate that. That should never happen, period. With a well-run organization, you should never put yourself in the predicament that the Giants have repeatedly with the kicking situation, which has cost them games, which leads to a bad record, which leads to why guys like us are saying they should be fired.
Yeah, and to be clear about the kicking, because it seems like such a little thing. It's not, though, because it's really burned them a few times, as we know. Like, it's one thing. There's even good teams go through a couple of years where they can't quite settle on their kicker. We're not, at least I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the clerical errors that the Giants have made to me.
Relying on a guy who's hurt. sports.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that goes back more so to Joe Shane about the construction of a roster, about a plan B. Hey, is Graham Gano healthy or not?
Right.
There's got to be conversations, and they can't be the wrong ones. You've got to identify that. So it's just a mess. It's an absolute mess again.
Sports Talk on the Fan is presented by Paramount Plus, streaming November 16th on Paramount Plus. It's the return of Landman from Taylor Sheridan, co-creator of Yellowstone. Academy Award winner Billy Bob Thornton is back, featuring Academy Award nominees Demi Moore, Andy Garcia, and Sam Elliott. Landman, new season streaming November 16th only on Paramount Plus. Lawrence is calling from Oklahoma City. What's up, Lawrence?
Hey, guys. I was really expecting something to happen for Jackson Dart at the trade deadline to bring some sort of weapon in there. And when I seen the Shaheed guy from New Orleans go for a 4th and a 5th, I was very upset that we didn't get him on the Giants. And then I started thinking, I said, I think Mara, maybe behind closed doors, has handcuffed Joe Shane and said, you know what, end of the season, you're out of here. Because how do you not bring in a weapon for Jackson Dart? He has nothing right now. How do you not bring him in a weapon?
I was saying that they should, and really, and I'll give Sal credit with this. Sal was the one who said earlier in the week before the deadline that, he thinks there's a chance that and it's not a report, it's an opinion, but I think it's a smart one that maybe he was handcuffed and that he was not allowed to make any trades here. And if that's the case, I get it, but you're also kind of penalizing your young quarterback who you're trying to elevate and protect.
I don't know if there was or wasn't. What I said was that's what I would do. As much as I wanted to I didn't care about their record. I wanted the Giants to upgrade wide receiver if it were a smart move to help Jackson Dart continue to develop here the rest of the way, regardless of whether it was a playoff push, because that's what it was a few weeks ago, thinking about, hey, maybe this team could get back in it. So regardless of their record, I wanted them to upgrade just to help the development of Jackson Dart. However, once it got to the point where we're at now, I didn't want Joe Shane touching the roster. So I would have had a freeze on the roster. Don't have him touch anything, but I'm not so sure that I have no idea what really happened.
Yeah, very well might have happened, though, because they didn't do anything, and there were players who were moved. And the other thing, too, and I've heard this from some people, like, and we talk about that Denver game where the Giants were trying to really, it looked as if they were going to make a move here where it would at least be a 17 game, 18-week season. And that's obviously by the wayside now. But when this is what I understand that I don't agree with it, though. So there are some small percentage of Giant fans saying, but if we didn't flush that lead against Denver, look where we'd be. All right, I do understand that. And Denver's a good team. I don't think they're a great team, but they're good. That's a tough venue. It's a good defense as well. You lost a game you shouldn't have lost based on what you did the first 3 quarters. We all know that. But good teams or functional teams then find a way to recover in the ensuing weeks. It's not like, all right, collapse, and then loss, season over, loss, anarchy, disarray, loss. I mean, if you're good, if you have a good roster and you're well coached and you're really going to thrust yourself into the meaningful part of the standings, one implosion doesn't destroy the rest of the season.
And that's why definitively I didn't come on the air that Monday saying everybody's got to go after that Broncos loss. We ripped them to shreds. It shouldn't happen. It's unacceptable. But I still gave them the next couple of games. And even I gave them a pass against the Eagles because nearly impossible to sweep, especially under the circumstances. Eagles Super Bowl champion. Giants obviously have been a doormat here for a long time. So, all right, give the benefit of the doubt, tip your cap to the Eagles. I'm not even going to knock the Giants for that performance. But then you got to show up against the Niners at home. And that is just that to me is where I have to draw the line and say, I can't take it anymore. It was a game I expected the Giants to win, at the very least compete, and that game was out of hand with the backup quarterback, and the Giants couldn't stop the run at all. They got gashed all day long at home.
I mean, that's the thing. I think I feel a little bit better, not much, but a little bit better if it was like, some great passes and a really diverse offense. It was literally, we're going to run. We're going to run. We're going to run right at you because we know that you can't stop us. And they didn't. They basically ran every single time. You're right. All right, 888-808-1019. It's BT and Sound on the Fan Football Friday. We have to get to that Grisham news a little later. Also weave in something on the Jets here. What do we expect from Aaron Glenn's team? Hey, Total Orthopedics, Long Island's premier immediate orthopedic practice, whether it's a sports-related injury or something a little more complex. Total Ortho has spots throughout Long Island with diagnostic equipment that is right on site. And now Total Ortho Express offers 4 convenient walk-in service, no appointment necessary, from the field or sports court straight to a top-rated walk-in orthopedic doctor. Visit TotalOrthoExpress.com. That's TotalOrthoExpress.com because time doesn't heal wounds. They do. Let's get you an Odyssey Sports Minute coming at you now. Brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. Make the right choice. Do not drive impaired.
This is Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Sunday, there are great games in all 4 viewing windows, starting with the morning matchup pitting Atlanta against Indianapolis in Berlin. Then at a saner viewing hour, especially on the West Coast, Baltimore and Minnesota square off, while New England, my upset special by the way, tangles with Tampa Bay. Later, the Rams and 49ers clash, and of course in prime time, we have Pittsburgh visiting the Chargers. Enjoy the games, folks. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Not available in all states. Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary. Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a mere fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. For free information and to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, simply go online and visit DRA.com or call 800-474-1811. 800-474-1811. That's 800-474-1811.
Nissan trucks and SUVs are built for next-level adventure. Too much gear? Dirt? Rock? Sand? Get in a Nissan truck or SUV and feel unstoppable. Whether you want to take your next level of adventure in the Frontier Dark Armor, the Pathfinder, the Armada, or the Rogue, you'll be ready for what comes your way. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. Now get 0% APR financing for 60 months on the 2026 Nissan Rogue Platinum. Visit jdpower.com/awards for information based on 2025 model year 2026 Rogue from new dealer stock. 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per thousand financed. Down payment may vary, subject to NMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price. See dealer for details. Ends 12/1/25.
New York City is delivering for you. With public housing and subway incidents, hate crimes, retail theft, and overall major crime down this year, and shootings year to date at their lowest levels in recorded history, and over 135,000 unlawful guns and vehicles off our streets means more secure neighborhoods, day and night. That's NYC delivering for families, every day, everywhere. Find out more at deliveringforyou.nyc.
It's the season to come together over your holiday favorites at Starbucks. Warm up with a creamy caramel brulee latte. Get festive with an iced gingerbread chai, or share a velvety peppermint mocha. Together is the best place to be at Starbucks.
This is Carrie Cooper. It was a small complex of bungalows in the LA neighborhood of Echo Park in the early 70s. The gigging and collaboration between Linda Ronstadt, Glenn Fry and Jackson Browne was the beginning of Southern California rock. More at focusonrock.com.
Calling all Hoops fans, get off the bench and onto the court for another exciting basketball season with BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA. From same-game parlays to live bets, you can call your shot during any play. Rooting for your favorite players? You'll find all sorts of markets for betting on any star's performance on any given night. Don't miss a single highlight or buzzer-beating shot by getting all your picks in with BetMGM. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today and make your bets. BetMGM, make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Hey, this is Tiki Barber. Those of us living in New Jersey got hit with a 20% electric rate increase. If your current heating system is over 15 years old, it's time for a new high-efficiency Carrier system. And there's only one company to call for a new one. My friends at Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts for over 38 years. Older heating systems waste gas. So get your system checked now and save money with Edison Heating and Cooling. Contact them now at edisonhvac.com. That's edisonhvac.com. WFAN.com.
You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday this season, all the way through the AFC Championship game. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams.
In a little bit, and their huge matchup with the Browns. I actually have a birthday party this Sunday at 1 o'clock, and normally I'm like, I can't. I'm sorry, it's just a
kid's birthday.
Dean, who went to my nephew, when went to the Knick game, and by the way, he loved it.
Of course.
He couldn't have been more excited about the Knick game and going to the game with his mom. And she was sending videos. He's yelling, "Go Knicks!" They had a big night against the T-Wolves, so it was great. But they're having the birthday party at his house Sunday at 1 o'clock. I guess they all want to watch the game. And man, maybe you could help me in this, because I have an issue. Like, I don't like that they don't understand that it's different for me.
Yeah, I've been here, guys.
It's all like, okay, well, we want to watch the game. The party starts at 1. I know you have to watch the game for work. And in their mind, they're doing a nice thing for me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the game's going to be on. And you can watch it. And in my mind, I'm like, no.
No, that's not how I can watch it.
I can't watch it with 30 different people and kids screaming. This is work for me. This is not play. That I just, pass the chips and dip and have some pizza. You guys go home and do whatever it is that you do. I have to go talk about it for 4 hours. And it's not just that game.
It's the Giants.
The Jets. Yeah, it's the Jets and Giants. So now we have 2 games at 1. The Knicks are at 6. So if I'm at a party on Sunday from 1 to 5, my whole Sunday is shot.
No, don't go.
But that's
that's why I said.
And my wife
would love that.
So I was explaining this in a similar tone to my wife last night, and then she goes, "Just stay home. I don't want to see your stank face there." Anyway,
that's what she said?
Something like that. Yeah.
Stank face?
Yeah, because I was getting
the stanky leg.
It's not now. I know they want me to go to the party. Like, really, would they miss me? Who cares?
No. They probably have a better time because you'd be complaining.
I know. But, that's my wife's point. But I kind of have to go.
I know you do.
Anyway, if it were different circumstances, I wouldn't be going. But the fact that, A, it's kind of a party that I can't miss due to circumstance.
Understood.
And B, both the Giants and Jets suck. So it doesn't really matter that much, and I don't have to watch it live and when I can just watch it later. That's the predicament. But the point is they both stink.
I might have an answer for you because I've been here. Number one, how far is their home?
Half hour tops. Maybe
take 2 cars.
Minutes. Well, that's
start with this.
I know, but you're right. My wife said that.
Start with that.
Here's the problem with that, and you're right. My wife said that as well.
I've done that before.
I know, but then I'm in a bad spot.
Why? You're in a great spot. Because you show up like the king, you're in a good mood for an hour or 2, and before things get too under your skin, you bounce. You got your own car.
That's a good way to put it.
I'm serious. I've done that before.
What time?
Jen gets it. I got to work.
What, halftime? I mean...
Yeah, now you're rolling all the games on DVR.
Anyway,
this is not 1980
I know,
where you're going to... Come on. So there's checkpoints for you to do your job, but it's a little tough. And I've been there. Like, I remember, I guess a couple of years ago, Jen's like, let's have a massive Super Bowl party. We'll invite these people and these people. And as she's saying this, I'm sitting there saying, sounds miserable. It sounds miserable. Number one, half the people I don't want coming over. And like, if I want you over, I'll invite you.
Right.
And number 2, how am I going to do my job? So it is a real thing. Now, she is, thank God, really, really cool with this. Probably sometimes she just doesn't want me there either.
Right.
No, but I think it comes down to your wife's understanding of your job, which she's got to have a pretty good sense of by now.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that she has to love it.
No, but if she wants to live the nice home that I was at this summer, then she's got to accept it.
Well, whatever the case may be.
That's just a blunt reality, bro.
But I don't
you got a nice pool, you got a nice backyard, you got to work.
You know what I think bothers me the most is that, forget about all that stuff. I think that because of what we do, it is not looked at as legitimate work.
As work.
In at least my wife's eyes and maybe the family. Not that they don't respect it, they don't understand it. And they just think, well, it's watching a game. It must be the greatest thing ever.
It's funny you say that. Now,
it bothers me.
Now, Jen was in sports when we met. She was with ESPN in Dallas, okay? So she had a great sporting background, big sports fan. And I generally enjoy watching games as a family.
Right.
She's Cowboys, so sometimes we're on different TVs, whatever. She's a great sports fan. But I would be lying if I didn't hear this on occasion, like, and again, she does get it because she knows I do a lot, not just with work, but with coaching and as a dad and, as a husband. But there are times like, what are you tired from? What, you talking about the Knicks with Sal?
Right.
Like, now, I don't get that too often.
I know, but
I really don't. I'm not trying to miss her. She is great with that. But I'd be less than truthful if I said I never heard that. And I'm like, I'm yelling for 4 hours with this lunatic. We're hitting calls that what they
especially in the beginning, it was. No, those are grueling.
I think I'd rather be digging ditches.
Yeah, we talked about it. Those are grueling.
They were trying to establish a show. See, what they don't. Forget about our wives. What people who think what we do is just fun time, number one, they don't really understand or calculate the inherent pressures of job security and putting on a show, number one. Number two, when you say something wrong, you can get fired.
Right.
No, I don't mean about like firing Glenn or firing Dable or whatever. I'm talking about if your mind is not locked in and you say something, either it's an off-color joke or you slip, whatever, you're out. Your career is over. So they can't understand how hard our brains have to work to think and speak simultaneously.
And maybe this is the biggest issue with my marriage is that my wife, for years, for years, she'll feel like I don't respect the work that she's doing as an at-home mother. And then I feel like she's not respecting what I need to do.
Well, maybe I can co-host with her and you can take care of Sammy
I offered that to her. When I was doing the overnights when we first had the baby, she's like, let's say I'm up all night changing the diapers. I'm like, look, I'm trying to survive here. Just got an opportunity overnight. You want to switch places? I'll go change a couple of diapers. You go downstairs, come up with an open at 2 a.m. in the morning and make it good.
During COVID when no one's listening or there's nothing to talk about, you give it a shot, honey.
In my mind, I'm like, well, what are you doing? Going food shopping? I clean it up a little bit. I know, but I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying that's maybe where she doesn't feel like I have a full understanding of what she does. And then I get frustrated by saying, like, 1 o'clock on a Sunday? Yeah. That's literally the worst time you could ever have anything for me to do from September to January, 1 o'clock on a Sunday.
It's true.
It's the
true.
worst.
It is true. Now, like, if we're I've often said, like, people say, well, what would you be doing if you weren't doing this for a living? I've said I'd either be a college coach or I'd be a lawyer. Those are two things that jumped out to me when I was younger, right? So if, to your point about it seems like playtime for some people, like if we're grinding at a law firm, we leave in a suit and tie. We're also leaving in hoodies, so it looks a little, you're really going to work. But if I'm at a law firm grinding over a case for 12 or 13 hours, is it looked at differently? Now, again, not 100%. For my wife, because thank God she's cool with this. That's one of the reasons why I married her. But, I mean, if you're in the business, and I'm not even talking about you, if you are in this business and your spouse doesn't view you watching games as work, you got to get divorced because it's not going to work.
BT and Sal, the Fan, 888-808-1019. WFAN NFL football powered by Verizon. Get your local Verizon store today. JT is in Jersey City about his G-Men. What's up, JT?
Hey, how we doing, BT and Sal? BT, real fast on that. You say the wrong thing. How about Imus way back in the day? Couldn't find a guy that was more solidified at the Fan, and he one day just says the wrong thing and he's gone.
Well, I mean, what he said was reprehensibly heinous. I mean, it's a little different, but yeah, that's an example.
Yeah. Anyway, on to Shane and Dable. Sal definitely hit on my point earlier about would you trust Shane to actually pick or be involved in your next, head coach selection, which, you definitely wouldn't because look at his track record up until now. Dable's got to be gone because he's done a bad job, but Shane has done an absolutely horrible job.
Yeah, I don't know how you could justify JT, and thank you for the call. I don't know what the Giants are going to do. Now, I'm hearing things, and we're going based off reports that everybody's seeing, and then you hear some things behind the scenes, whatever it may be. There does seem to be a feel that there's a chance they keep Shane and fire Dable. That to me just does not add up. I don't know how many times you got to say it, how many different ways. It does not add up. And if anything, I would be better off. I would feel better if they said, you know what, we're going to keep Dable because of what he did year one with a nothing roster, and then again what he did year 4 with selecting the quarterback when he decided to go to the quarterback as a starter, and the success that they had as an offense overall without Neighbors, without Scatterbo. I can make 2 legitimate arguments in favor of Brian Dable. I cannot make one argument And me personally, in 4 years with Joe Schoen, I have not seen the roster improve from year 1 through year 4 consistently enough at all.
Well, here's where you got to give Joe a little credit. I mean, ultimately, he's the one making the decision on the draft, right? So we know that Dable stood on the table and really was banging on the table for Jackson Dart. He also wanted to draft him third. So, and Joe Schoen's like, whoa, take it easy.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what I mean? Now, Abdul Carter, if Abdul Carter had 9 sacks, I think we all think he's going to be a stud because he's getting near the quarterback. He's just not getting to the quarterback in terms of sacks. I think that Abdul's going to be really good. So we still got Abdul Carter, and he still got Jackson Dart. So we can't ignore some of the good things he did.
Is that offset by Evan Neal and Jalen Hyatt?
Yeah, no, I'm not even saying that. I'm just presenting everything just to be fair to the conversation. Let me ask you this. Okay, well, first of all, I don't think there's any chance Dable's back next year. I think he's gone. All right, so
I would tend to agree with that.
Okay, so let's say that we fully agree rather than tending to, like 100%. Yep. At the moment, we both believe that. Do you believe, because this is what it's going to boil down to me for Shane, do you believe that the Giants go big game hunting for a head coach? In terms of an established big name, I don't mean Kafka, or I don't mean, the elevate mentor or coordinator. I'm talking about a big time head coach.
I'm not feeling that they will.
If they don't, then Shane stays.
Right.
If they do, like if it's a Belichick or whomever else it might be, I don't think that big name is going to acquiesce and take the job and answer to a GM that he doesn't know.
BT and Sal on the Fan Warrior calls. We come back. We'll work the Jets in as well. Remember, Nick Costo's coming up as he always does, 12:40. Go around week 10 in the NFL. Perfect parlay pick segment in the 1 o'clock hour. A lot to do on this football Friday.
It's Boomer and Gio. Mornings on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
Joining us in studio, St. John's men's head basketball coach, Rick Pitino.
We have to do it the old-fashioned way. We have to go out and bang on doors and get people like you two to give. Both of you guys have given now $100,000 each to us. I appreciate that.
Listen to Boomer and Gio on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Straight Talk knows the best holiday gift is simply saying yes.
Yes, you can stay up late. Sure, more cookies. Of course we can watch that movie again.
That's why we give you real unlimited data, so you can say yes to all of your family's streaming, scrolling, and sharing. And now at Straight Talk, get another gift worth giving. A free 5G phone with select plans. Because yes is the best gift to give.
Yes!
And receive. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Hear that? That's the beginning of a journey powered by the confidence that comes from driving a vehicle so reliable. It's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Where your journey ends? Well, that's up to you. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia. Movement that inspires.
See retailer for warranty details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
By now, everyone knows that I love my Elevate Hydrogen-Infused Super Water. Well, I've told you all about how amazing I'm feeling. The science speaks for itself. But did you know that even longevity experts, pro athletes, and many doctors choose Elevate for its benefits? And they want you to have a chance to make Elevate your water of choice. So here's what they are offering today. Simply go to Instagram or Facebook, send them a direct message with the word Boomer, and they will send you a link to receive up to 12 of their premium super waters 100% free. I can't wait for you to try it. Our transportation, water, and energy infrastructure is critical. Did you know that those projects are built by the local 825 operating engineers and their contractors? They even built MetLife Stadium and the stadium before that. That's why their advocacy organization, ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employee Cooperative, fights for those priorities every day. That's ELEC, representing the hardworking men and women who build New York and New Jersey.
Clogged toilet, leaky faucet on one. Ready?
Uh-oh, you got a plumbing problem blitzing through the line. Time to audible and call in the pros. Roto-Rooter is your go-to defense for clogs, leaks, and any plumbing fix. Call the right play and download the Roto-Rooter app and easily book an appointment and receive exclusive service discounts. Touchdown! Don't get sacked by plumbing issues. Call in Roto-Rooter, your MVP for plumbing solutions. Download the app today and score big on savings.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Are you fans? It's football season, so make sure you catch all of the Scarlet Knights gridiron action this season on WFAN. Scarlet Knights football is presented by RWJ Barnabas Health, the official healthcare provider of Rutgers Athletics. Let's be healthy together.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business?
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Don't fumble the ball when it comes to fine jewelry, diamonds, and engagement rings. There's only one choice. It has to be H.L. Gross Jewelers of Garden City. Visit hlgross.com.
Talk sports with Evan and Tiki. Afternoons from 2 to 7. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Brought to you by Chef IQ. Precision cooking, effortless results. Visit chefiq.com. Week 10 in the NFL opened up last night in Denver with the Broncos beating the Raiders 10-7. Kind of a snooze fest kind of a game offensively, but a lot of defense. Sunday, the Giants play the Bears in Chicago while the Jets will face the Browns. ESPN is reporting the Japanese star third baseman Munetaka Murakami is entering the posting system today. He owns the single-season home run record for
Bring him
Japanese.
in. I'm sold.
Which team?
Yankees.
Well, you're going to say the Yankees. He's going to say the Mets. Anyway, he had 56 home runs in 2022. NBA tonight, the Nets take on the Pistons on the Fan at 7:20. And the Devils continue to play good hockey at the Rock. Beat the Canadians in overtime 4-3. The game winner from Jesper Bratt.
Yeah, it was awesome. Such a great feeling of helping the team get a win. And like I said before, doing it here on home ice where we want to be a hard team to play against.
Timo Meier tied the game late in the third. Jacob Markstrom with 16 saves. Rangers in Detroit against the Red Wings tonight. The Islanders host the Wild. This report brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be located in New York. Also brought to you by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Current temp brought to you by Ray Katina. Experience the power of 3. Visit bensfam.com. It's 52 in Central Park, and that's what's happening. I'm Jerry Recco on WFAN. Now streaming our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
The Talent Show on the Fan is presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York.
Oh, boys.
That morning show, Jerry, that's wild over there. What are you guys doing in the morning?
Look at me.
Yeah,
Well, thank God somebody looked at you, otherwise it would have been worse.
Jerry having a wave Geo off. That is funny, man. Oh,
Here
God.
it is on the... I'm seeing this for the first time. I heard about, this is priceless.
I didn't hear it this morning. I was, truth be told, I was searching during one of the breaks, Michelle Beadle and Stephen A. Smith on Awful Announcing.
Look at this.
And then I came across the clip that they have of Gio showing you a phone, the picture of, I guess somebody sent him a text.
Dude, this is just...
I already forgot about this until you brought it up during the break.
My favorite part of the whole thing is you just waving it off like, no, we're on TV.
You see the phone turning towards the camera. No.
This is great. Greg couldn't care less.
No.
Gio's like, whatever.
BT and Sal on the Fan.
Have a nice weekend, guys.
Have a good weekend, Jer.
See you, Jer.
BT and Sal on the Fan. We'll get back to the Giants calls here, 888-808. Wasn't that funny, though, him waving it off? Come on, man.
Oh, and then he's got his hand over his face. Meanwhile, he wants to get another look at him.
All right, BT and Sal on the Fan. Hey, look, the Jets are playing this Sunday as well, and I was watching Francesa's podcast, BT, and I thought it was an interesting take. And Mike talking about how there seems to be a complete reversal on Aaron Glenn. And I don't think that he's wrong on that. Now, I did not reverse course. I was staying the same here, saying that it's year one. Let the guy do his job here. And I was also saying that the Bengals, to me, that win from the Jets was more about the Bengals being awful. However, it does seem like there has been a reversal from where the media was at with Aaron Glenn, and maybe some fans as well. Prior to that win, it was this guy's over his head, fired year one. Is he going to last the whole year? And now all of that has gone away with the win, the bye week, and now the big trade. It doesn't feel to me like there's any more pressure on Aaron Glenn, where I think it is going to be important here to watch the Jets. I don't want to say play out the string at this point, but see how they, against a Browns team that, they should be better than here, or at least have a competent match in. We're not out of the woods yet saying that Aaron Glenn knows what he's doing.
This is a good energy right now around the Jets. As much energy as you can have when you have one win and you've had a constant stream of contentious exchanges as a first-year NFL head coach with the media. Yeah, I'm with you. It's definitely been stabilized here now.
But has it really is the question?
I believe that it has. I believe that it has.
But based on what?
Well, number one, it helps to win. Number one, I think to me, I think the stabilization is a little less about Aaron Glenn and more about, the overall health of the building might be in really good hands because of what Muji just pulled off. I mean, that's been universally praised. And you watch, that doesn't mean it's going to work out, but you watch every NFL pundit, every NFL account, all the networks, the people who talk about this exclusively for a living football, they're saying, hey, Sauce is good. Yeah, Q's going to help out Dallas. But this has been universally lauded, and rightfully so, because now, and I said this, I didn't say it the day that it went down because Q happened once we got off the air, and we only had about 5 or 6 minutes to really hit it as we broke the Sauce stuff. But to me, the Jets have gone from a doormat and a laughingstock very early in Aaron Glenn's tenure to a power broker in the NFL. Whether it's the 2026 draft, whether it's the 2027 draft, whether it's a potential trade for any eventually disgruntled franchise quarterback that we're not even thinking about now. We threw the name Burrow out there, maybe some others, whatever. Any prominent conversation that happens, the Jets, based on the moves and the capital that they now have, can be involved prominently, if not leading the discussion for any football trade or transaction.
Don't disagree with any of that. But the fact that they still have 9 games to play, right? Jets have 9 games to play, have 1 win. If they don't beat the Browns this weekend, where are the wins coming from? Yeah. And even if they do, is that going to... I don't believe 1 trade, or 2 trades, even though I think it was a great day for the Jets. And I would not fire Glenn. I don't care if they went winless. To me, it wasn't about the win-loss record this year. I'm just saying that there was a turn from many other people out there. And I would not be so quick. If I felt one way about Aaron Glenn prior to the Bengals win, I don't think just because of the way that they beat the Bengals would make me feel a different way, especially when you look at the schedule where I don't see many wins. After they lost at home to the Panthers, I didn't think the Jets were going to win another game. They did by beating the Bengals in ridiculous fashion. Okay, I believe it was more about Cincinnati. What about the rest of the way? I can make a good argument they could lose this game to the Browns. They're not beating
they're not even favored.
Not beating the Patriots.
The dogs.
Not beating the Ravens. I don't think they're beating Atlanta. I mean, Miami, maybe the one game there. Not beating Jacksonville. New Orleans, okay, maybe. My point is the losses the rest of the way still can mount up.
Oh, they're going to.
And bring back that feel about Aaron Glenn.
I do agree with that to an extent, though. But I think, listen, I don't think it just started with the Bengals win. I think that there was evidence, the Denver game where they defensively played very well, the Carolina game, all right, I know it's Carolina, but you gave up 13 points. So the game before that, like the Dallas game where they got almost 40 hung on them and they just looked absolutely inept there. Before the Bengals game, there was 2 games of evidence where they gave up 26 combined points. Granted, not against great offenses here, but there was, again, they stabilized their, they weren't getting, it wasn't 40-6. It wasn't 37-3. It wasn't 31-9, where at least there was a competitive tone that entered the season. And then they followed that up with a win against Cincinnati. Now, I agree. If they don't beat the Browns and, I don't know, flip a coin, they're 2.5-point dogs. It's going to rain. I don't know what's going to happen.
Is it supposed to rain Sunday?
It's going to rain Sunday. Yeah, it's going to pretty much rain all day. So if they don't beat the Browns, I agree. They're not going up to Gillette and beating the Pats. They're not beating the Ravens down there. Are they going to beat the Falcons? Probably not. Could they beat Miami? Yeah. I mean, the Jets are going to be 3 wins. I mean, the Jets aren't going to be much more than that, and they might even be 2-15 here. But the energy, like, again, macro, with just a big, broad snapshot of the Jets, the perception has changed, not just for me, for many, and I think it is now separated from the sheer total of wins, because now there's a conviction that the Jets have smart people making smart decisions.
Right, but don't you think
that helps?
Don't you think we could still learn about Aaron Glenn, the way he handles a game, the way he handles the end of halves or timeouts?
I do.
There's a lot to still be evaluated with a head coach that was on the brink through the first 7 weeks of the season.
I agree.
A long way to go to evaluate.
I agree as well. I also think, if we're going to look at, are we judging, now maybe this weekend you need to see a win or you want to see a win, but I don't know that there's going to be some, first-year head coach failure tax if you lose all these games that, for the most part, you're supposed to lose. I mean, they're not even favored against the Browns, as I said. They're 2.5-point dogs at home. They will not be favored the rest of the way. I mean, maybe if they were to beat the Browns and maybe clip the Falcons, then maybe they're favored against Miami in a couple of weeks, but they're going to be dogs the rest of the way. So when you're not expected to win and you don't win, as long as it's not anarchy and complete disarray or an inability to make quick decisions as a coach, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt.
BT and Sal on the fan. Let's get a Jet call in here. We'll get back to the Giants calls as well. Angelo's in Matawan. What's up, Angelo?
What's going on, guys?
How are you?
So I have one question. So Jets season basically over. Coming from a Jets fan, I look at this as over. It's a wash season, whatever.
Yep.
Do you think the Jets go for a quarterback or do we draft the quarterback, or are we trading for a quarterback?
I think it depends. I think it depends where they are. I think if they're say if they win a game or two that maybe we don't think that they would, and they're picking 5th, would they be compelled to take those 2 first-round picks or one of the 3 from 2027? Yeah. And maybe scoot up. They could, but you got to love the guy. I love Mendoza. Do they? I don't know.
Thank you, guys. I agree with you. I like a lot of quarterbacks that we can get because we had these draft picks, but who knows at this point?
Yeah, I would not, and thank you for the call, Angelo. I would not force the issue. That's the way that I would put it. To me, there's no need to go out there and do it immediately. Now, if they loved one of the quarterbacks, you get one shot to do this the right way. One shot. If I'm Muji and Glenn, I'm going over every possible option this year, next year, whatever, 2027, every possible option, whether that be in the draft, whether it be Joe Burrow, whoever shakes out to be available in the NFL as far as trades go. I'm waiting until I know definitively that my shot at my franchise quarterback is the one that I wholeheartedly am 100%, 1,000% all in on. So I would not just force the issue just because it's, they need a quarterback, Justin Fields isn't good enough, and you might have a top pick and go get a quarterback now. That's the way that I would approach it, because the other way gets you in trouble.
It does, and that's why they're where they are.
Yeah,
now,
right.
I remember saying to you the other day, the one thing that's a little different about this, and you still have to identify and then get the quarterback, everybody knows that, but you don't have to use a 3rd or 4th pick on a left tackle. You got one. You don't have to pick a top 5 or top 10 player on a wide receiver. Now, is Garrett Wilson Jamar Chase? No, but he's really good. So you've got wide receiver 1. You've got enough things now where you can start to build out the roster and at least the infrastructure like that. The ability to protect whatever quarterback you bring in is there. Darnold didn't have that. Zach didn't have it, but the O-line's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, but again, they're going to have to replace Quinnen Williams. They'll have to replace Sauce Gardner.
I know.
No, the idea they have a ton of different picks to do it.
Also, $200 million in free agent money to do it.
My whole point would be I'm not forcing the issue with a quarterback. The Giants did this forever to a point where they had to take a quarterback this past year. I would have taken one the year before. They didn't. They had to.
They tried. They wanted Drake May. They wanted to make that trade. Pats wouldn't do it.
Yeah, but that's a different
Their plan
story.
was good though.
They didn't have a plan B that year then to go back and get a quarterback. They waited. Now that was in year 3 of their regime. Right now we're going into this is still year 1 obviously, but we're projecting ahead to year 2 of Muji and Glenn. That to me is not necessary to go get your franchise quarterback in year 2. But by year 3, you should definitively make a decision on, okay, here's our guy, here's how we're getting one, and then you hope to start to really build that in year 3, and year 4, you take off and start to win some games. That would be, to me, the proper timeline and clock.
Yeah, I don't think they're pressed against a wall either, and they don't have to do one thing. They could do it more on their timeline, and when you're desperate, you generally, sensibility's blurred. Think about this. I mean, when you have to have something work, right? When something has to hit for you, are you really clear in how you evaluate things? No, I think you because now you're calculating fear and failure and trepidation and desperation and all those other emotions that can make it even tougher than it needs to be. When you're emotionally and mentally stable and you've got an abundance of again, in football, options like draft picks and different players that you could go and get, I don't think that you press it. I don't think that you reach, which obviously mitigates risk.
David is calling from Ann Arbor, Michigan. What's up, David?
Hey, guys, great job on the show. I just want to say about the Giants. I have a theory or an idea. I put myself in the seat of the owner of John Mara. And one thing, if I'm replacing the general manager, I'm doing it in December so that as soon as the season's over, I am in a position to have my guy to pounce on the top head coach candidate. The other thing I'll throw out, which kind of goes against that, I noticed recently that the Philadelphia Eagles general manager, Howie Roseman, his contract is up at the end of this season. I mean, back the truck up.
I mean, he's the best in football.
Yeah, back the truck up and offer him a job as head of football.
Yeah, but why would Philadelphia let him go? I highly doubt that's going to be the case.
But I also have one idea to run by you guys for the head coaching.
Good.
I think we need to have a defensive coach. And try this out. Offer the head coach job, and I know we've had him before, to either Spags or Fangio from the Eagles.
Vic Fangio. Fangio's been these. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. And then either talk to whoever you're picking to either keep Kafka, or I know that they want to get Davis Webb back in the building and groom him. So it's just an idea. I want a defensive head coach. I don't want an offensive head coach. And that's
because that's counter, Dave.
Because the defense.
Yeah.
Because I think this team is going to be defined in the future by their defense.
Well, let me ask you this, Dave. Hold on. Are you saying that because that's generally the Giants' DNA, and when the Giants win, that's usually rooted in defense? Because the league is saying the opposite. You got to score.
And how's that working out for us?
Well, they don't have enough weapons.
How about just getting a head coach?
Yes, you absolutely have to go back into the draft and get a wide receiver, an offensive tackle, and you also, I think, need to make a splash play in free agency with an offensive weapon.
Anything else? Anything else, David? And thank you for the call. I mean, good God.
There's some other things. Corner.
Right. Well, why not upgrade the stadium as well while you're at it? We all know the MetLife could use...
that would be awesome.
I mean, come on here. I just hate the idea of limiting yourself to saying, well, I want an offensive guy or I want a defensive guy. How about just finding the guy to be a head coach who oversees everything. Do you look at Dan Campbell as one side of the ball or the other, or do you look at him and say, that is the head coach?
Yeah. I look at him more the latter. He's running the show, even though he's a former tight end.
And that's just one example, obviously. Their team can be tough at certain times, physically, defensively, whether it's injuries, whatever. I banged them up last year. I know they didn't have a good defense. This year, some deficiencies. But you look at Dan Campbell saying he is the head coach. That's what you want, a head coach. Yeah, Sean Payton, obviously known for his offensive mind. He's a head coach. He's got the best defense in the NFL.
And he had a special teams background, too, like Harbaugh in Baltimore.
A lot of the coaches, though, have worked their way up to doing different things throughout the course of their coaching careers. So,
there's a lot of offensive people around. I don't have one that's coming to mind right now, but I just remember looking at resumes and, whether it's the coaching, the coaching tree for some. There's a lot of guys that we associate with being offensive people that were like linebackers coach or secondary coaches in college or quality control so most coaches have experienced both sides of the ball.
You know what I would look to? I don't know if somebody brought this up. I definitely saw it somewhere else, and I don't know who it is. Otherwise, I'd credit them for it. Maybe it was just a conversation I was having.
Was it Maresh?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It might have been the other. Who was the girl that he was messing with there? Nikki Gist. Yeah, whatever. McVay. We've talked about this, but I don't know. I was having this conversation with somebody else, and I'm sure other people have talked about it. But I would, if I'm the Giants, the first order of business would be this offseason inquiring about his availability or his interest in coming to the East Coast, and I'd go all in and try to get Sean McVay. Now, that's just one. Could John Harbaugh be available? Could Mike Tomlin be available? Those are extreme long shots, but much like the Knicks and their head coaching search, I'm taking as many deep shots as I possibly can on all the best guys there. I don't bring up Andy Reid because there's no chance he's ever leaving, but somebody like that. That's why I say McVay. Maybe he would want to leave Los Angeles and come here and work with Jackson Dart and be in New York and try something new in his life. I have no idea. Maybe not likely, but I would be exploring those home run options before I started talking about, let's go get Vance Joseph or Vic Fangio.
Or Cliff Kingsbury. Not that those guys couldn't work out, but this requires a bold move. It's funny because Rick was here the other day, yesterday with those guys, Rick Pitino, in the morning with Boomer and Gio. And, if you look at, I don't know that it's a great contrast here, but there's enough where it makes some sense. I mean, St. John's was so down that, if they went for an average, even a coach with some success, they wouldn't be where they are now. You had to shoot for the stars. You had to go. You had to try to hit one to the top tank, upper deck, 500 feet, and they did with Rick. And it feels kind of similar to the Giants. It's been so bad for so long. I don't feel like a coordinator, even if he's really good and rooted in incredible principles and highly thought of, you need somebody who's done it before. That's what I think. I really think that. 888-808-1019 is the number. Football Friday, BT and Sal. Well, I'm really hoping Grisham doesn't take the $20 million. We'll squeeze that in as well. The Jet stuff is on the table. The Giant stuff is on the table. Costo's coming up at 12:40. Get you the picks as well. Perfect parlay on a fun Friday here at the Fan. All right. FanDuel Friday is turning it up with NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 Eastern. FanDuel's dropping unlimited time specials to get you in the zone. Boost, bonuses, surprises, all designed to bring Friday energy. Not just another promo. This is your weekly pregame. This is definitely a little unique. I've told you about FanDuel forever. This is cool. This is different. NBA Happy Hour every Friday, 6 to 7:30 Eastern, only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Just visit FanDuel.com/BT to grab your reward before the clock expires. FanDuel.com/BT. We love the app around here. It is safe and secure, and when you win, get paid right away. FanDuel's the official sportsbook of us here at the Fan, WFAN, 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Rewards non-withdrawable. Restrictions do apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And for help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Every Saturday at 8 a.m., it's Kickoff with Boomer and Mike Valenti, where the guys break down the biggest headlines and storylines from across the NFL.
Drake May is playing out of his mind. This is a very good balanced team, and I love what Mike Vrabel has done with it.
Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti is brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on Odyssey, TuneIn, and the iHeartRadio app.
Experience the magic of the season during the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration. Enjoy exclusive holiday offers at Mercedes-Benz of Edison, Mercedes-Benz of Union, and Ray Cattina of Freehold. 3 powerhouse locations, 1 legendary name, Ray Cattina. Discover the power of 3 at benzfam.com.
The Hess truck's back and it's better than ever. Roaring engines this year. Hess race cars are here.
The Hess stock car racers are loaded with lights, sounds, and a powerful racing motor. Only at HessToyTruck.com. Free shipping and batteries included.
Sunday no longer a fun day? We've got specialists for that. Walking the dog, unleash, knee pain. We've got specialists for that. With 45 Castle Connolly top doctors, Orland & Cohen specialists are considered among the best in the nation by their peers, which can mean a better outcome for you. From Staten Island to Southampton, our network is open 7 days a week, so you can feel better, faster. Visit OrlandCohen.com.
Hey everyone, this is Boomer Esiason, and I'm here to tell you all about United Healthcare and their Oxford products. They've served me well for 41 years, and I've been very happy with the coverage that I've received. In fact, they're not only my insurance carrier, United Healthcare also supports my foundation in our quest to find a cure for cystic fibrosis. So when you play pro football, you learn pretty fast that you can't win without teammates you can rely on. The same is true for your health plan. And that's why Oxford plans from United Healthcare include all kinds of benefits for your employees, like $0 deductible options, virtual care with $0 copays, and the ability to earn up to $700 a year just for taking healthy actions. Care for your employees and savings for you? You'll get that too. Check out Oxford, now with more ways to help your employees and bottom line stay healthier. Contact your broker or visit uhc.com/Oxford to learn more. Oxford insurance products are underwritten by Oxford Health Insurance Incorporated.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in New York, New Jersey. And our more than 280 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Nada que ver. Bring in a bill from AT&T or T-Mobile to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. ¿Y ahora? ¿Qué vas a hacer with all those unwanted bills? Pues, how about a full-scale origami version of the Statue of Liberty? Fuera de broma. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to your local Verizon store in New York City today and we'll give you a better deal for you and tu familia. Rankings based on RootMetrics Root Score Report dated 1H2025. Your results may vary. Requires postpaid consumer mobile bill from T-Mobile or AT&T dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms apply.
Injured in an accident? You need help. The Rothenberg Law Firm. Lawyers that have built a legacy of victory over 5 decades, winning billions for their clients. The Rothenberg Law Firm. Call 1-800-624-8888 or visit injurylawyer.com.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Come visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers at any one of their 6 locations.
Talk New York sports here. The Fan.
CT Town back on the Fan. 888-808-119 is the number to call on this Football Friday.
Talking Jets, talking Giants. We'll get into Week 10 in the NFL. Nick Costos, our pal, will join us at 12:40. Go over the full slate. Have the Perfect Parlay Picks segment as well a little bit later on. That's the 1 o'clock hour. You mentioned the Grisham thing. You want to get something off your chest about that, the Trent Grisham thing?
Yeah, well, I'm confused. I mean, it's not like I've got to air this out, this grievance. I just don't know why. I don't know the play here. Like, are they doing this just out of protection, or are they doing this because they don't think they're going to have a very expensive offseason?
No, I think they're doing it because it's the right move to make, because if he takes it, okay, you get a center fielder back who's still a good commodity for $20 million a year or whatever it is for 1 year.
Yep.
But the likelihood is that he should be able to get a little bit more than that. At the very least, 2 or 3 year deal. And when he does, then you get the draft pick.
Yeah, but if he's going to get a 2 or 3 year deal, I don't know if he's going to get it for $22 million a year. So he very well might say, you know what? I'm 28, 29. There's a lot of people around baseball thinking that last year was an anomaly.
Which it was.
Which it was, for sure. He had basically a 650 OPS before he got here, before he did what he did last year, I should say. So he might be saying, all right, if I could string together another 30-plus home run, 800 OPS, 240-ish batting average in the Bronx, where I've got Judge and I've got a favorable ballpark in terms of dimensions, then he could maybe parlay that into a 2 or 3 year deal, or maybe even with an option for a fourth at big money. I don't think anybody's knocking his door down, and I don't want Trent Grisham on the Yankees.
You don't think he's?
I want him playing every day.
You don't think he'll get more than the guaranteed 20, whatever it is, million, 22 million, or whatever it is? For
no, I don't think it's a guarantee for multiple years. I don't think that's a lock. No,
no. I'm saying in total. Like, it could be 2 years for $35 million.
Okay, 2 years at 35, so almost 18 a pop.
Also, if you're him, are you really going to bet on yourself again to outdo what you did this year? This was a career year.
But it's also the most he played here. He might. I mean, his swing fits the stadium.
Yeah. Well,
and
okay,
he fits here.
But in that case, now if you're the Yankees, you could easily trade Trent Grisham on a 1 year deal worth 20-something million.
Mm-hmm.
The Mets were interested in him a year ago. Now, obviously, different circumstances financially.
It was $5 million
but there are no center fielders.
You could trade them. That's true. I mean, the Baders and all the names we know about, recycle the names here. The White Sox center field, Robert.
I mean, I get it. $20 million doesn't seem like it seems like too much for Trent Grisham. But when you factor in center fielders, when you factor in the guy at 34 home runs, and when you factor in the idea that, okay, worst case scenario, the Yankees have a valuable commodity in a center fielder with power under control for 1 year for $20 million. That's the worst case scenario. Best case is he goes and signs somewhere else, and you get the draft pick for him. I don't think it's a bad spot either way.
I was talking to somebody in the Yankees about this, and they weren't sure what they were going to do. This was about a month or so ago, because it definitely comes with some risk. Not risk that they can't overcome. It's not like the Yankees can't pay him $20 million. Of course they could. They got the resources to do that. So listen, I hear what you're saying, Sal. I could very easily try to convince myself, yeah, he's a lefty. Yeah, he's not even 30 yet. Yeah, he's got power that plays in this stadium. Yeah, he fits well with this team. Yeah, he's a good center fielder, though not nearly as good as some people think. His defensive metrics definitely took a step back. And I remember saying that to you last year. Some people think during the summer. Some people think maybe it was attributed to a hamstring. I don't know. He's not quite the center fielder people think. But you know what? Here's what I also know. I don't want him batting first or anywhere prominently in the playoffs.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, but it's not different, because if he's back and he's the starting center fielder, he's going to be playing in the playoffs, and he's a strikeout machine.
Why can't he hit seventh?
Well, okay, now who's going to lead off? Oh, you get Quan?
Well, yeah,
okay,
you go get a leadoff hitter.
All right. I mean,
if Trent Grisham's $20 million are holding you up from building a real team, then the Yankees aren't the Yankees.
I don't think that they are. Yeah, no, and they're not the Yankees the way they used to be, but they're not going to turn into the Pirates. I get that. But I just don't value. Forget about the money, the draft pick compensation. I just don't value him as the player as some people do. I don't trust him. He is a strikeout machine who has horrendously empty at-bats against good pitching, particularly lefties. He's a liability. I don't really want to play in center field next year.
Without him, they weren't winning 94 ball games in the regular season.
I know, but they also didn't win the World Series, so that's what matters. So I think that's what matters to me. I think that there's a better path. Now, what that path is, I'm not going to sit here and lie to everybody and say, I know what Jones is, I know what Dominguez is. I have no clue. But I would much rather have Quan in left, either Dominguez, which they probably wouldn't do, or Jones in center and Judge in right, or Bellinger in center and Quan in left, and find a first baseman, whether it's Rice, whatever. He's too flawed of a player to have a prominent role on a World Series team for me.
But I think you're looking at this the wrong way.
Why?
Because they're looking at it as the asset. This move. I'm not saying your alignment.
About the compensatory stuff?
Yeah, this is just semantics.
That's for them to do. Fantastic.
Right,
I'm not running I don't care about some draft
but
pick.
they're trying to do the smartest thing for the organization. They do care about the draft pick, and they're taking a gamble saying that, like, this was a bad day for Trent Grisham because now he's got the qualifying offer attached to him, meaning the other team that signs him needs to give up the draft pick.
So they might be dissuaded to do that. Some teams would.
Maybe, but if somebody wants him and there is a dearth of center fielders, then the Yankees are going to get a draft pick. If not, they have a center fielder that at the very least, you may not like him, but rank him in comparison to Bader or Luis Robert Jr. or the other center fielders not named Cody Bellinger.
But I'm ranking him against Bellinger. Okay, that's the difference.
Fair
Bellinger's got to stay.
But they could also then move him. They can trade Bellinger.
They could.
Grisham.
Grisham.
Yeah.
All right, so what happens if, let's just say, Bellinger doesn't stay with the Yankees?
Yeah.
Let's just say that. See, I'm trying to avoid, now I don't think that this is incredibly probable, but it's not completely implausible and impossible. I don't want a 2026 Yankee world where there's no Bellinger, there's no Tucker, and there's Grisham in center field without Bellinger on the team and a first baseman that I don't love.
Yeah, well, that's...
And McMahon, whiffing 200 times and hitting 220 at third base, and a shortstop who's a mess, and a second baseman who I don't love either.
You really think that's going to happen?
I don't know.
No way. They can't do that.
I don't know. I'm just trying to safeguard against that. I could just give you my opinion today. And my opinion is I don't love Grisham. I really don't want him back.
One more baseball note. Yesterday on Baseball Night in New York, Andy Martino brought up the idea of if the Mets were to move on from Alonso, a possible in-house solution would be McNeil at first, platooning with Vientos. Think of how awful that is. So it's
Vientos and McNeil at first base?
Yeah, and I said,
what?
I said, if that's the case, I'm going to walk off the show, and you're going to have to get a new. There's no chance that anybody would accept that. It plays to your point about, well, what if it's Grisham and then no first baseman? It's not going to be that. This is the Yankees. Same thing with the Mets. The Mets know they can't be dumb enough to think that if they let Pete Alonso walk, for whatever reasons they might have, and I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
In no way, shape, or form, under any circumstance whatsoever, can you let Pete Alonso walk and tell the fan base that you're going to replace him with Jeff McNeil and Mark Vientos as a platoon. I don't care who you sign at. I don't care if you sign Bregman.
I was going to ask
Bellinger,
you that, even if Bregman's playing third base?
BT, there's not a world that I would accept ever Jeff McNeil and Mark Vientos platooning at first base as a replacement for Pete Alonso. I don't care who you sign. Unacceptable. So get that thought out of your minds. There's no way that should be a possibility. I'm not even saying that they do. I'm just saying Martino brought that up.
Yeah.
Because it came up the question of, are the Mets going to trade McNeil this offseason?
Yep.
And in my mind, I'm like, they should have traded him 5 years ago. But yes, absolutely, they have to trade McNeil. And he said, well, I'm not so sure because maybe he can be a replacement for Alonso and platoon with Vientos at first base. And I almost fell out of my seat.
See, but I think, come on. When you say, listen, it's time for McNeil to move on, and Vientos' star has dimmed a bit here. So my first reaction was what it was. I'm like, oh, that's ludicrous here. But now, if you were to have a world where it's Vientos and McNeil at first base, right?
Yeah.
Bregman at third base, Bellinger in center, that's a better team than the Mets last year. There's no question it's better.
I still don't want Vientos. I don't want Vientos or McNeil on the team, let alone both those guys at first. How does that upgrade defensively at first base?
Well, I think McNeil will be a better defensive first baseman than Pete Alonso.
Why? He's never even played there.
Because, if you could play second base in the major or third base.
That's not the solution. And Vientos,
I'm not saying it's the ultimate solution, but I'm focusing on the other stuff. That's why I point to the Bregman, the Bellinger, or some combination of other players that would make, to me, that trio or that resetting of the Mets would be more appealing, much more appealing than last year.
Okay, do you think realistically they're going to go get two starting pitchers, high-end starting pitchers, and sign Bellinger and sign Bregman?
No, I don't.
Me neither.
I don't.
So that's not
that
but
much.
If they did, I still wouldn't be open to it because Vientos can't play first. The whole reason that they don't want Pete is because of his defense. It's not his offense.
Yeah.
It's his defense.
Well,
right?
let Vientos be your right-handed DH. You don't have to play first base.
There are two reasons you could excuse not wanting Pete Alonso. One, because his bad defense at first base. Two, because you don't think he's worth the money. So you're either going to be cheap or you're saying that we just don't believe in investing that big of money in a guy who can't really play the position, which I'm okay with saying that, which is why I want Pete to be the DH. So I'm okay with saying, okay, you don't want to, for defense, you don't want to invest in that? Fair enough. then you better go find a real first baseman who can defend. You can't say you don't like Pete's defense and then settle on McNeil and Vientos as a platoon at first base.
Unless you massively upgrade the third base defense, which would be now Beatty's much better than Vientos. But again, if there's a Bregman signing, now third base is elite, and now center field is really good with Bellinger. Not to mention more contact, more speed, more baseball players, which you always talk about.
I'm fine with Bellinger and Bregman. Find me a real first baseman. I don't even care if he hits $1.89.
You want Naylor, or just a defensive first baseman? Who knows?
Yeah,
I mean, you want Doug Mankiewicz to come back? Somebody can just pick it like
somebody
that?
like that. A real defensive first baseman. Hoff, you said you had something
he's chomping over here.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this conversation, actually, I got told by Digital, please do not post because it's so awful for Mets fans.
Yeah.
The fact that McNeil and Vientos would be considered first base upgrades, I'm sorry, my head is going to go through a wall any second. Please stop with that. But also, if they
I'm just telling you, it came up the other day.
I understand, but this is the fact. This is the problem that I have right now. And David Stern's going to have another problem. Okay, if he goes this experimental route again with either first base, second base, catcher, center field, left field, bullpen, doesn't make a difference. Manager, bench coach, I don't care what it is. If he goes another experimental route, I'm going to experiment with my fist with him. Okay,
Jesus.
I can't take it.
Good God.
Hoff, I mean,
No,
geez.
this is not acceptable. This is not
He's getting very aggressive
This is not
these days, Hal.
acceptable.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. I almost fell out of the chair. You can't have that.
Okay, so Hoff, just don't experiment with your fist on me, but don't bite my head off here. Answer the question. So
this sucks.
Hold on, because I know his opinion. First base, opening day, McNeil-Vientos combination, okay? Bregman's your starting third baseman, Bellinger's your starting center fielder, and you get another pitcher. That team's not exponentially better than the one you just watched stumble their way to 83 wins?
It's wrong. No, it's not.
But that's not the question. Is it not
right.
better?
No, it's not.
You're nuts. You are nuts.
It's not. No, because
it's
just
so much
and
better.
who's playing second base?
Acuna.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not better. It's not better.
Oh, you guys are out of your mind.
No, it's not better.
So you don't want Bregman, you don't want Bellinger.
Okay, BT.
Yes.
I'm not saying I don't want those two players.
You just don't want the combination of first base.
Here's the thing is, right?
Neither of those guys are first basemen.
Neither is Pete.
Okay, stop with that.
He stinks.
Jeff McNeil can't catch a ground ball. Luis
catch a ground ball.
No,
he plays second base and third base.
He's not very good. Luis Angel Acuna is a much better second baseman than Jeff McNeil. So let's just put Jeff McNeil's defense away. He's not a good defender.
He's your most versatile defender.
That doesn't mean he's good.
He's pretty good fielder.
He's a versatile waste of
Does
my
he embarrass
time.
himself at second base,
Yes,
third
he
base,
does.
or left field? You're not.
By the way,
that's not
no,
true.
he doesn't.
He
doesn't.
Multiple games last
Even
year
offensively.
because he couldn't get to the baseball. BT.
He's solid.
But he
doesn't have to move as much at first base.
Hold on, but solid is not what we're looking for.
Right.
You're going to move a solid second baseman to first
Here's
base?
the point.
That's what we're doing.
Here's the
Come
point.
on.
No, there's not a Met fan. There's not a Met fan alive. And consider this a friendly PSA from SAL. There's not a Met fan alive that would ever, under any circumstance, accept replacing Pete Alonso with those two. That's all that I'm saying.
But you have to finish the sentence. Unless Bregman comes as a third base. I totally disagree with you guys.
I'm telling you.
Totally disagree with that.
I'm telling you, there's no. You could say Skubal, you could say Suarez, you could say Bellinger and Bregman. No way, shape, or form will any Met fan accept replacing Alonso with a combination of Vientos and Jeff McNeil.
I don't see that. Now, they might not like it. Like, say if it happened today, just saying.
Yeah.
We might get 100 calls and 100 hate it, right?
Yeah.
And then they would watch the Mets play baseball, which is what matters, and they would see a much better team. They'd say, we're better.
First of all, you don't know that they'd be a better team. That's your opinion, which is fair. It could be your opinion.
Is Bregman better than Beatty at third base?
Yeah, I like Bregman.
Is Bellinger better than whatever you had in center field?
Yeah, of course.
By a million miles?
Right.
Okay.
And Pete's a million miles better than what they have at first base under that circumstance.
Well, but not
a million miles better.
I mean, but not if, fair. I'm going to give you that. I'm not going to try to be unfair to the conversation.
And even I could even say that Beatty on it. And now I don't even want Beatty back at third base, but I could say that Beatty back at third base based off what he did in the second half, and Alonso back is better than Bregman at third and what you'd have to pay for him, and McNeil and Vientos at first.
All I know is this, and I know that the Mets starting pitching was a mess, and the bullpen coughed up leads, and the runners in scoring position, all the things we know about the 2025 Mets. I know that if you get 600 at-bats for Bregman and you get 600 at-bats for Bellinger, the Mets are one of the best teams in the National League, provided they get another big arm.
Sports Talk on WFAN, presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
All right, let me tell you, and Sal as well, of course, Cadillac, 4 distinct all-electric Cadillacs, which you and I finally got to drive. Actually, you had it last year for a little bit. I finally got in it this year. I had it for about a month, and I did not want to give it back. Trust me, it broke my heart. The car was absolutely insane. I'm getting massages on 280 coming into work. I mean, the moonroof is the size of the entire car. It looks like a spaceship. The car was driving itself. And by the way, it's simple to charge, which I was a little reluctant about. Honestly, when I hear electric cars, I'm like, nah.
Same thing.
Is this going to be a pain in the ass? It absolutely was not, and it looks great. 3 different ways to turn every drive into an occasion. So, Sal, whatever the reason is, never been a better time to say, let's take the Cadillac.
Actually could not be easier. And if I were to buy one, when I do, I'm going to buy the setup at home to make it even easier and get a quicker charge. I hate going to the gas station and spending that $50, $60, whatever it may be. The all-electric Cadillac family of vehicles prevents that. You just charge it right up at home overnight. You get the Escalade IQ. That's what BT was driving around in. The Vistic, the Optic. That's what I had. And the Lyric, I drove that last year. Love them all. Comfort, luxurious, safe ride. The safety features are incredible. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today. The BT and Sal Show, presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Giants.
This is Maggie Gray with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Major League Baseball's offseason has brought stunning managerial surprises. San Francisco hired a college coach, Washington chose a 33-year-old, and San Diego shocked everyone by naming recently retired pitcher Craig Stammen, who's never coached, as manager over legends like Bruce Bochy and Albert Pujols. It's one of the boldest hiring waves MLB has ever seen. I'm Maggie Gray.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Build monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
At Jake's 58 Casino Hotel this November, it's your chance to gobble up the green and feast on your share of $55,000 cash. Earn entries all month long and join us on Friday, November 28th from 4 to 6 p.m. 2 winners will be drawn every hour to win up to $10,000 cash. Then at 7 p.m., 1 lucky winner will take home a grand prize of $20,000 cash at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is here for the holidays. Enjoy a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium hot or iced coffee, all for $6. It's got everything you need to keep your holiday season running. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead directly on the Dunkin' app. After all, the holidays run on Dunkin'. No substitutions. Participation times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
Great deals are waiting for you at your local Kia dealer during the Kia Season of New Traditions sales event. So, gift yourself some savings and drive home a capable Kia SUV or powerful Kia sedan today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-4094. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-4094. That's 800-575-4094. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning. When I say insurance, you say financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Now when I say nationwide, you say is both. Nationwide. Is both. Nationwide. Is both. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Partly sunny and 60 degrees today.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
Let's get back to some calls here, BT. 888-808-119. Who knew on a Football Friday we'd be talking some hot stove. Don't you have hot? I was looking at the schedule actually coming up. Not that you need to chime in here. But there is what's the meetings next week? Is it the GM meetings in Vegas?
Is it the owner or the GM?
No, I think the GM meetings are first. I'm pretty sure that's next weekend in Vegas. And then you have the owners meetings.
Where's that? Is that still in Tennessee? I don't even know where that is.
I'm not 100% sure, but that's, I think, the second week of December. Anyway, we got to look over the baseball calendar. Point is, we're in the hot stove season now.
Yeah. I mean, think about the conversation we just had. Yeah. The energy there.
Yeah.
I mean, I love this time of the year. It's awesome.
It is the GM meetings first, and that's when? Next weekend in Vegas, right? 10th through the 13th of, okay, so not next weekend, then the beginning of next week. 10th through the 13th of November is the GM meetings? Okay, and then when do you have the winter meetings?
8th through the 11th of December.
Okay. Where is that, Hoff? Is that in Tennessee, or did that change?
I don't have it in front of me.
I said the owners' meetings. I meant the winners' meetings. Obviously, that's where a lot of stuff happens.
Yep.
But either way, yeah, I mean, this is it. And especially with two teams that, look, the Yankees are consistently great as far as getting into the postseason. 94 wins is 94 wins. But they need to close the gap from where the Blue Jays and Dodgers were a year ago. And they were in the World Series themselves a couple years ago. They got to make enough moves to get back on that premier level, which they're just not. And the Mets, they got to close the gap. Okay, a bad year for them, 83 wins. It's actually not a bad thing considering the history of the Mets. It is a very bad thing considering the payroll and where they're at. They're supposed to be elevating to the level of sustained success. So they've got a long way to go. And that means it's going to be a lot of moves that need to be made this offseason, which is why you don't want to accept Trent Grisham. I don't want to accept McNeil and Vientos as platooning his first base.
Sal, but I think the more succinct way of saying it, right, is that there's more openings than solid spots right now for both of these teams. I mean, that's the short version, right? So, without giving detailed analysis or a scouting report, I'm just going to buzz around everything, okay? And I'll just quickly move on. Who's playing first base for the Yankees opening day? Not 100% sure. Who's the shortstop? Not 100% sure. Who's the center fielder? Not 100% sure. Who's the left fielder? Not 100% sure. Who's playing first base for the Mets on opening day? I don't know. Who's playing second? Not sure. Who's playing third? Not sure.
Yeah.
Who's catching? Probably Alvarez, but not sure. Who's playing center? Don't know.
Right.
Who's the closer? Not sure.
Right.
Who's the ace or the second? Don't know. I mean, there's a lot to do.
And for a team, in the Mets case, that is expected to, from now on, legitimately contend to win a World Series. This is no little engine that could.
No, those days are over.
Yeah, and thankfully they are. That means if you want to get to a level of being taken seriously, you've got to go big this offseason, and not just big as far as spending, but rethinking the whole thing. Yes, you're going to have to spend. Yes, you're going to have to trade. Yes, you're going to have to identify the right guys that you're going to bring up and have contribute at the big league level this year, whoever that may be. Figure it out. But there are a lot of questions to be answered.
I feel more this way about the Mets than I do right now about the Yankees. And it's not just Scooble. I feel like the Mets are going to make a transformative trade this offseason. A trade where we're going to be like, wow.
See, I was hoping
they did what?
I was hoping for some of that in season, whether it's Nimmo, bringing up Nimmo, Vientos, McNeil, whether it's those guys. That kind of the Mauricio, Vientos, Beatty, McNeil mess needs to be cleaned up. I would take it a step further and look at Lindor and Nimmo. And again, not all guys that you want to trade are problems. People hear that and they think like, oh, this guy, every fan wants to trade the guys who suck. Yeah, well, it's not that easy. Nobody wants those guys. So when you say something like trade Lindor, it's, wow, you must not like Lindor. How could you not like him? No, It's not that. It's that I'm looking to change the core of this group. Now, I don't believe that they're going to trade Lindor, but maybe a guy like Nimmo. To me, Nimmo does more bad than good, because he's a liability in left field. He's always dinged up or banged up. He's maybe better off as DH, and does he hit enough consistently to be a DH? And
he's too streaky for me.
Personally, I love Brandon Nimmo. I think he's a great individual and a great guy that you want on your team.
I do too.
However, I'm not in the business of being nice. I'm in the business of trying to win ball games.
Amen.
Here.
I don't think there's anybody more impressive, and I know Lindor is pretty good at this as well, where he puts the thumb in his chest and he takes ownership, and he's done that really from minute one, maybe after he got over the Baez stuff. I don't think there's anybody more impressive explaining, and Judge is really good at this as well, but I think Nimmo's better than Brandon Nimmo for the state of the team, for personal failures.
True leader.
That is an introspective, honest, good guy and good player, but his deficiencies hurt you in October. They just do.
And also, BT, when you look at a team that clearly was not good defensively and also wasn't good enough, period, they won 83 games.
Yeah.
And it's not just this year. I don't know how anybody can look at it and say, well, they just get pitching and they'd be fine. I don't see it that way. It doesn't mean that I'm right. I don't see it that way. I also look at the big picture. 2022, 2023, 2024, even in a year where they had success getting to the NLCS, look at the entire year.
I know.
They barely made it. That, to me, the bigger picture of the 2022 season on. 2022 season was terrific until it wasn't, where they collapsed in the end, getting swept by Atlanta, and then weekly going away in the postseason. Unacceptable and bad warning signs. 2023, disaster. 2024, not good. Then it was very good from June on to the point where they barely made it and go on an incredible run. Fun, excellent season. But was it sustainable? We found out last year it was not. And 83 wins with that payroll after bringing in Soto, somehow they get worse. Overall, and I know it's different regimes, but still.
And different players. Bassett pitched in that Atlanta series. So Scherzer, DeGrom,
right, we get it. Doesn't matter, though. Overall, 2022 to 2025, not good enough.
I'm of the mindset now, particularly with baseball, because it's changed quite a bit. Like, the days of, winning, and this really was what the Yankees did for so long, 100 and something games and just obliterating people. That's kind of over because there's more parity and the game's changed a lot here. But I'm really of the mindset that if you have a good, stable core and your needle or your arrow is pointed up and in the right direction for sustained success, there shouldn't be such wild fluctuations year in and year out.
Correct.
You shouldn't be. You shouldn't have 2 or 3 months of baseball where I'm just throwing out numbers, I don't even know if this would add up, 13 and 33 or 20 and 50. It just shouldn't happen. And that's happened a little bit, certainly to the Mets, and even the Yankees have been up and down a little bit over the years.
For the Mets, since 2022, 101 wins, 75, 89, 83. That's progressively almost getting worse under Steve Cohen, and now a better structure set up with David Stearns being in. They were supposed to make the playoffs in consecutive years from 2022 to 2023. Didn't happen. Last year, they were definitively supposed to make the postseason consecutive years from 2024 to 2025. Didn't happen. Sometimes you got to look under the hood here. I mean, come on. How could you argue with that record? BT and Sal on the Fan will reset down with the king topic of the day, 888-808-1019.
It's Evan and Tiki. Afternoons on the Fan, 1019 FM.
Feel Jackson Dart saying, get on my back, let's go. We're going to go try to win this game. And then you get the other side of the ball where your best player, one of your best players, and Dexter Lawrence is just getting pushed around all over the field.
Listen to Evan and Tiki on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
So, there's this guy, Paul Rivera, grew up in the Bronx, made some mistakes, but eventually becomes one of those hard-working citizens who keep our city going. But he gets pulmonary fibrosis, and his only hope is a lung transplant. One hospital, Montefiore Einstein, get him a new lung, and they give him a new life. Right. Everyone in his neighborhood is like,
they give that guy a new lung or a new motor.
The story, Mr. Giamatti. Well, you ought to know, Mr. Rivera, you lived it.
Everyone loves a comeback. Montefiore Einstein, national leader in transplant.
FanDuel Friday is turning it up with NBA Happy Hour. Every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, FanDuel is dropping limited time specials to get you in the zone. Boosts, bonuses, surprises, all designed to bring that Friday energy. This isn't just another promo, it's your weekly pregame. NBA Happy Hour every Friday, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Visit FanDuel.com/GO to grab your reward before the clock expires. That's FanDuel.com/GIO. We just love the app around here. It's safe and secure, and when you win, you get paid fast. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of WFAN. 21 and over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amounts. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Beware the holiday buffering.
Who are you?
The ghost of internet past here to slow down right when your guests arrive.
Not this year. We got Verizon's 100% fiber optic home internet. Scored a limited time offer for $20 a month and locked in the price for 3 years.
Fios home internet, that's scary fast.
Now we can all stream, video chat, and game at the same time. So bye.
Call 1-833-VERIZON to switch to Fios home internet today. Fios 300 megabits per second plan at $20 a month with autopay. Any Verizon mobile phone plan and bonus discount. Price guarantee applies to base monthly rate only for my home customers. Terms apply.
Looking for the lowest price on name brand tires? Get to Town Fair Tire and get the guaranteed lowest price on any name brand tire. Nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday this season, all the way through the AFC Championship game. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, I'm Nick. And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box so that family memories would be safe and could always be enjoyed together.
And starting now, we're offering listeners early access to our best deal of the year during our $9 tape sale.
1 million families and counting have trusted Legacy Box to convert their aging media because Legacy Box is safe, simple, and affordable.
From fading over time to risks like fire and water damage, your videotapes, film reels, and photos aren't protected unless they're on a digital format.
With the holidays approaching, don't wait. Simply fill your Legacy Box. We'll take care of the rest.
It's the most meaningful thing you can do this holiday season and the perfect time during our best sale of the year.
Visit legacybox.com/value to get early access to our Black Friday sale and digitize your memories for only $9 a tape. Visit legacybox.com/value. legacybox.com/value.
Ray Cattina Lexus of Freehold and Ray Cattina Lexus of Monmouth. One legendary name, two exceptional destinations.
Get breaking sports news here. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good afternoon at 12:01. I'm Andrew Bogish. This Sports Flash is sponsored by Chef IQ, precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com, and by Moderna. Graham Gano is still not practicing today, so Brian Dable says he expects young Wei Koo to kick Sunday in Chicago. At Jets HQ, Aaron Glenn just refused again to name his starting quarterback for Sunday with the Browns, but whomever it is knows he will be the starter. Former NFL receiver Antonio Brown appeared in Essex County, New Jersey courtroom this morning. He will not fight extradition to Miami, where he is facing an attempted murder charge. U.S. Marshals arrested Brown in Dubai this week and brought him to Jersey. The charge stemming from a fight outside a boxing event back in May. 25-year-old Japanese slugger Munetaka Murakami will be posted in the Tokyo Yakult Swallows today. He can begin talking with big league teams tomorrow morning. If he doesn't sign with somebody by December 22nd, he goes back to Japan. Both locals should be among the many teams going after him. NBA Cup action tonight. The Nets host the Pistons at 7:30 here on the Fan. The Rangers in Detroit. The Islanders host the Wild, both starting at 7. Fan weather is sponsored by Ray Katina. Experience the power of 3. Visit benspam.com. It's 55 degrees and partly sunny in Central Park, and that's what's happening. Sports flashes, top of every hour. I'm Andrew Boone.
Now back on the Fan of this Football Friday. We are now down with the king topic of the day. Get back to some football. We can take calls on the baseball hot stove if you'd like. But back to some football, BT, and starting the show with the, sadly, same old story. We could come on the Jets and Giants here, but with the Giants as it pertains to their situation with the general manager and head coach. And there were some reports, Marashino yesterday talking about it, how the Giants almost fired Dable after the Denver game. I don't care about almost fired. Here's what I know. He's still the head coach. Is he going to get fired or not? Is Joe Schoen going to get fired or not? That's what I care about. And I believe they both should be based on the work that they've put in over the last 4 years. And I'm not so sure that the Giants are going to fire both, which I think would be the worst thing that they could do, keep Joe Schoen and fire Brian Dable.
You know, if these reports are true, maybe we're missing something pretty obvious here. Maybe the Giants are just still really confused and in disarray upstairs. And that's probably more disconcerting than the record of the head coach and the drafting record of the GM. Like, I'm going to assume the report's right. Okay, so you wanted to fire him. Well, why didn't you? All right, you were talked out of it. Cooler heads prevail. Okay. Well, if they get smoked by the Bears, so even before that, the template is now established that whomever runs the show right now, and I'd have to think it's still Mr. Mara, is not enthralled with the job that the head coach is doing. Why would he be? I wouldn't be either. So we wanted to fire him if it was him. And he decided not to. Well, I mean, you don't go from wanting to fire somebody to having unwavering support in them. And the fact that he's still here after some ugly losses after the Denver game tells me maybe they don't know what the hell they're thinking.
Which is a whole nother problem. And that's why when I start to hear the stuff where you see these split ticket stuff that the Post had earlier in the week, that does make me feel less confident about the direction of this Giants organization, where, to me, the idea that you would back Joe Schoen in any way, shape, or form makes no sense. I'd rather the Giants come out and say, now, hey, we wanted our group here to draft and identify and develop a franchise quarterback. We believe they've done that with Jackson Dart. We see enough to where we believe in this team. Even though there'd be blowback and we could disagree with it, I'd rather the decisive nature of saying we support Schoen and Dable. They're going to be here beyond this year. That, to me, is better than, well, were they going to fire Dable off the plane in Denver against Denver? Are they going to keep Joe Schoen? I have no idea the inner workings. I don't pretend to know. I don't care to know. What I know is this. New York Giants football has sucked for far too long. And I believe that it's overdue, as a matter of fact, to move on from Schoen and Dable and bring in somebody new while you're in a better spot now than you were prior because you have the potential of the franchise quarterback.
I obviously agree with that. You know, the other thing, too, that you have to guard against here, and, records 2-7, 2-7, 2-7, this, that, everything that we hit with Dable, the thing that you can't have is now the players in the locker room wondering aloud what the organization thinks of the man who's still their head coach. And that's where we're at. I don't know how many Giants are listening to the Fan. I'm talking about players, not the organization, because I know they do. I don't know how many players listen to it or really follow this stuff on social media. But if it was the story yesterday, and it's kind of still the story today about they were ready to move on from their coach after the Denver game, well, then the players hear that, and the players know that, and the players think that, and that Like, how are they going to remain motivated? It's not another week. There's 2 more months of football to go, which means a lot of practices and a lot of film sessions, even for a team that's probably going to win 4 games or 5 games, whatever, when it's all said and done. So the damage that could be done even more so by keeping a coach that you weren't going to keep 3 weeks ago is just not smart.
We also talked about the Jets and their game with the Browns, where the evaluation of Aaron Glenn still should be front and center here. Everybody's excited about the trades that they made, but just think back to 2 weeks ago, prior to that incredible comeback win against the Bengals, which was more about the Bengals than it was about the Jets. Prior to that, everybody was saying Aaron Glenn might be in over his head, one and done. I still think that narrative could continue if the Jets losing gets back on track, or they start to continue to lose games again.
Well, Aaron's put himself in a position where nobody in the media is going to want to do him any favors. And not that they should ever carry the mail for a head coach and protect him or, do a hit piece that's without merit and unwarranted. The objective of a journalist is to transparently report what's going on. And I do believe that the men and women that cover the Jets have done a good job of that. However, they're still human beings. And if they win 1 game the rest of the year, or maybe even 2 or none, I mean, they're not even favored to beat the Browns at home coming up. They're 2.5-point dogs at home against Cleveland this Sunday. If they don't have a few more good moments the rest of the way, I think people are going to turn on Aaron Glenn, and here's more evidence, people in the media. Here's more evidence. He was asked about the quarterback about 10 minutes ago. Listen to the exchange again.
Question has to be asked. Do you plan on naming a starter Sunday?
Say it again?
A starter quarterback for Sunday.
We have a quarterback.
All right, so just follow up on that. Either you're not going to tell us Fields or Taylor.
We have a quarterback.
Unrelated to having a quarterback.
Okay.
Would you like to get to a point here where you have a set quarterback where he, whether it's Taylor, Fields, whatever, he is your guy so that you can deal with the ebbs and flows where, say, it's Justin or it's Taylor, they have a bad game on Sunday. It's not, okay, it's the other one next week. We're riding with this guy the rest of the season. He is our quarterback.
Well, the thing is, I don't worry about those things. Our guys know who's going to be the quarterback. I know who's going to be the quarterback. It's just not my responsibility to have to tell you that.
Okay, so the quarterback. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
See, that's where he's losing me.
I'm kind of with you at the end. I didn't have an issue the first part. Like, you don't want to divulge who the quarterback is. All right. You're trying to present this leadership, and it's us, and it doesn't matter what you think. It's what I think. Okay. I've already been on the record with that. I didn't love it at first. I understand it more now. And I believe that was Connor. And you can tell Connor's a smart guy, and he knows the sport, and he knows how to report this stuff. And I thought the last question was very good.
He worded them perfectly.
Perfect, because he got away from, I know you're not going to answer this.
Yeah, right.
So let me give you another avenue to expand on something. And that's where I think Aaron could have handled better. All he had to say was, hey, listen, guys, look around the NFL. The teams that have a chance to win big have a stable quarterback situation. So I might not tell you who's going to be under center on Sunday. That's for me, and that's for them, and that's for my team, not for you. I'm not going to tell you. But, of course, for us to get to where we want to get, eventually we've got to have a guy that we know is the man. See, you could have done something and softened it a little bit there.
The more he starts being or continues to be like that when there's no need for it, to me, the lamest, silliest thing he could do here is say that I know who the quarterback is, but I'm not going to tell you. Then I would start to, if I'm Connor or somebody else in the media, then I'd say, okay, coach, you know what? You're right. I'm not going to ask you about the quarterback situation anymore. Are you embarrassed to be 1-7?
Mm-hmm.
How do you like that question?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather me go there? How embarrassing is it for you that you guys are a laughing stock in the NFL?
Yeah, the tone could change real quick. Well, that's why I said they're humans. And even though they're journalists and they're paid to be objective and report what's happening, they're humans. Nobody likes being disrespected. There's an element of disrespect right there.
You got to play the game. You got to play the game a little bit. And I have been in Glenn's backing with this, or been in his corner saying, I don't care how he really handles the media. Where he starts to lose me is why you would play games when both your quarterbacks aren't any good. And now at this point, we all know that Justin Fields, I mean, if they don't start Justin Fields, they're completely lost. But anyway, we know the quarterbacks aren't good. It doesn't really make a difference. All he has to say is, well, Justin's going to be our quarterback. He says that a week ago or 2 weeks ago. This all goes away. And he's creating more of an issue by being terse and disrespectful and evasive, dismissive, all those different things. Mm-hmm. You're creating another issue on top of it, which then in turn would make me want to get disrespectful back and then point to his crappy record, his inexperience, the fact that he botched games as far as the halftime goes, a decision at the end of the game to kick the ball or not. Like, there's a lot where if reporters really wanted to, can nitpick on that, and not even nitpick, can just call Aaron Glenn out for what has been a horrific start to his coaching career.
Listen,
you know better than that.
He's trying to get a layer of separation from everybody, and he's trying to create a foxhole. And again, when I say it, I didn't like it because I didn't look at it the way that I now look at it, and I thought he could have handled the last part better. All right, I really do. I thought that part was unnecessary. You could have given a commentary, hey, to win in this league, you need a quarterback, and whatever. However deep you want to go in the engagement with Connor, that's up to you. I don't mind him not naming the quarterback. I don't love it. I think it's fairly petty and fairly unnecessary. But I think I finally know why he's doing it, because when they are good and these are questions that could lead to a competitive advantage for somebody else, the Pats, the Bills, whomever, the Chiefs in a playoff game, now the template's established and he doesn't have to play that game when the games really matter. He's trying to create a tone. Now, this could backfire. This really could. And he seems okay with it. He doesn't seem flustered. You know what I mean? He seems like, hey, he's laughing. Yeah, ask me all you want. I'm not telling you. Like, if he
better start winning. That's
I know.
it.
But if he
don't lose to the Browns this week, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's then
the Browns stink.
If he looked unnerved or uncomfortable, I think I would have more concern. He feels pretty comfortable being this guy. And if that's going to work for him, and ultimately we'll find out, then that's okay.
WFAN NFL football powered by Verizon. Get to your local Verizon store today. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Jason is in Monroe, New Jersey. What's up, Jace?
Hey, thanks for taking the call. I'm a big Giants fan, and I do agree that both Dable and Shane need to go, but I listen to the fan all the time, and I just feel like the conversation needs to be shifted more towards Shane than Dable, because, this roster year after year is just not good enough. I mean, we can talk about the free agency missteps. We talk about Barkley and Jones, right? Or McKinney, Slayton, right? The signing of John Runyon, draft pick misses, right? You name it, right? Give me any other team in the league annually. They're holding tryouts in season, and they're starting practice squad players when a couple of injuries happen, right? This entire team is incredibly mismanaged. And when you think about what Dable has to work with, and I'm not trying to give him a pass, but it does need to be considered that look at the roster that he's given. Look at the team that he has, right? And so I think Shane needs to go, right? And I just think that, overall, we need to move it to a new direction. Now, from a fan standpoint, looking at a GM candidate, it's really hard to evaluate. We're not privy to this type of information, but I'd really like for the Giants to look at teams that consistently put a good product on the field.
Well, they did. That's where they got Shane from, Buffalo. They already tried that. They're Jason. They just did it.
Well, they have to do it again, right? And they need to look internally too, right? Like who's grading our scouts? How do we improve with the evaluation of players that are up for consideration to be on this team? Because when you look at the draft picks, it's just such a bad miss year after year after year. I mean, I know you guys talk about it, but I had to put it down. I mean, we're talking about Neal, Banks, Schmitz, Newman, Hyatt, right? The list goes on. Every position you can think of, we have holes. We're talking about offensive line, wide receiver, linebackers, defensive backs. Like, how can this be? We're still in this position.
4 years later.
Right.
It's just not good enough. We agree with you, Jason, and thank you for the call. It's just not good enough. Now, the scary part is that the Giants might not agree with us. And they might think, they literally said a year ago they were happy with the draft Joe Shane had. My God. And they thought they were going to be better this year, regardless of who the quarterback was. They thought they were a more talented team than at least a lot of us thought. They thought they were going to win games with Russell Wilson being the veteran quarterback with a good defense. And guess what? They were proved wrong to a point that they had to go to Jackson Dart when they did to try to save their asses. And even going to a rookie quarterback who has been terrific still wasn't good enough. I don't know how you can make a case to keep Joe Shane and Brian Dable.
I think the biggest inconsistency was, you heard a lot. Hey, just let's get the quarterback. Let's get the O-line shored up. I mean, really, the offensive line and the quarterback play has been two of the best parts of the Giants this year. So if that was what we were waiting for, then everything else should fall in line with like a domino. But it hasn't, because the roster's not good enough. Obviously, that's on Shane. And listen, guys, we all saw the video. I don't know what day it was. It was shortly after the season a year ago. And it already is going to resurface soon. where John Mara said, hey, if I'm sitting here in the same spot next year, I'm not going to be happy. Well, there's nothing to interpret from those comments because it might be worse than where he was sitting a year ago, at least in terms of the record. And I believe he's going to make some big moves here. I really do.
Think about it, BT. Might not only be worse, it's worse with factoring in that they found the franchise quarterback.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now that Band-Aid goes out the window. You can't blame it on inconsistent quarterback play or an injury to Daniel Jones because you got the thing that you've been chasing for so long. And it's not like Jackson Dart looks okay. It's not like Jackson Dart has been slightly above average. Jackson Dart's been phenomenal. I mean, every time the Giants start a game, touchdown, next game, touchdown, next game, touchdown, next game, touchdown. Like they are coming out of the tunnel and they're scoring a touchdown to start the game. Now, you got to give Dable some credit, Kafka some credit. Sure. Obviously, there's a coordination there. You script the first 15, 20 plays, but the quarterback's got to execute. So they've gotten that, and they are still an eyesore. So what's the excuse now? There is none.
Sam is calling from Manhattan. What's up, Sam?
Sammy.
Hey, guys. How are you?
What's up, buddy?
BT, I wish you were right on AG and his philosophy with the media.
Go ahead.
I just think I don't think he's as Machiavellian as that. I just think this has been his personality basically since the first press conference, and he's confrontational, he's snarky, and you're right, he's going to lose the media. Which, listen, if they win, they win. If they lose, you do not want to be on the wrong side of the media. So it's the wrong approach. And someone should just tell him.
Well, what's the right approach here, Sammy? Sammy, now let's have a conversation.
The right approach is to be straightforward.
He is. Now you might not like it. He's being straightforward.
You say, listen. The quarterback situation's in flux. We're going with Justin, or you just say and move on. So I want to get past that. So my point on AG is this, Sal. I wish you were right. I wish that the next 2-3 months were about evaluating his performance. I just think you make these two trades, and that is a buy-in that we're going to get worse before we get better. It's an endorsement of the strategy that the Muji has, that AG has. And yeah, I don't think he's going to be the right coach for us. And it's a shame because this job got so much better, so much more attractive. I mean, if you were a coach on the sidelines looking at this situation now, you'd be like, I got 5 first-round picks. I got 3 second-round picks. I got oodles of cap space. I still have my offensive line intact. I still have an all-pro wide receiver. And that's the shame of it all. That's the irony. Is I think it's an endorsement, unfortunately, of AG. But I think the reality it's such an attractive seat right now.
Sam, but it's year one. And thanks for the call.
And it's only halfway through.
Right. It's halfway through year one. So you should be excited about the idea. Now, you may not believe in Aaron Glenn. That's fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion. Nobody knows. I tend to agree that this would not be the hill that I would look to be dying on with not selecting a quarterback. I was with Glenn the whole way. I don't care if he's rude, disrespectful. Be yourself. Whoever you are, be true to yourself. Now, if you continue to lose, you're going to continue to have problems. The more you pick the fights with the media, the more you lose, the worse it's going to get. This one, to me, not naming a starting quarterback where there's not some big drama or controversy. Both these guys stink. It's clear Tyrod Taylor's been a career backup, and I'm not trying to disrespect him, but we know where he's at in his career. Justin Fields is the guy you brought in to start. What's the secret? It's not a competitive advantage. It's stupid. You look stupid. You sound stupid. You're picking fights with the media over stupid things. Not doing yourself any favors. But as far as the big picture goes, maybe Glenn is the right guy, and this is the right way to rebuild in year one. We're going to learn. The rest of this year, the whole entirety of this year for me was never about the wins or losses. Next year is going to be a different story, and certainly the year after that, if they're around to see it.
See, my biggest issue with personality projections is when you put something out there that's not really you, when you're inauthentic. I believe that, for better or for worse, and I believe it could still be better. I'm more, pro Glenn than not at this point. But I believe that this is who he is. He's an old school guy. I don't think he's into explaining or having these a million side conversations to let people know what he's thinking. Again, we'll see if it's the right approach or the wrong approach. But the last caller brought up about he doesn't like the personality of Aaron or what he's putting out there. Did you like Adam Gase's personality, who was obtuse and in space? Did you like Robert Sala's personality, who was overly congenial and soft? I mean, so what is it? I mean, if this is who Aaron Glenn is, who was raised from football diapers by Bill Parcells, he's old school. He's from Texas. He's got a little red ass in him. I don't think he's being fake. And my biggest issue is faked. Like, I can't stand inauthentic, fake people. He's being transparent. transparent. Basically, without saying it is, hey, I'm the boss. You're not. You don't like it. But write whatever you want. I don't care.
Right, which I think is fine, but it can't be that way all the time, especially when you're losing football games at the level that they are. BT and Sal on the Fan Warrior calls. We come back. Nick Costo's coming up in 20 minutes as well. Get you set for Week 10 in the NFL. Hey, Islanders hockey is here. Grab an ice-cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your Islanders on the ice. Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, 0 bubbles, so it's easy to sip and enjoy all day long. I know from experience. It's not a seltzer, it's a Surfside, official partner of the New York Islanders. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
All right, operating engineers, the local 825 are the men and women who make our region move, whether it's roads, bridges, or our favorite team stadiums. They build and maintain the critical transportation, water, and energy infrastructure that we rely on. So that's why their advocacy organization, which is ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, fights for those priorities every day. That's ELEC, representing the signatory contractors and the hardworking men and women who build New York and New Jersey.
The Giants head to the second city to face a Bears team coming off an amazing win in the game of the season so far. Jackson Dart will look to put an end to the good feelings flowing through Chicago and get a win in hostile territory.
He's gonna run it himself, turns right to the goal line, touchdown Giants.
Don't miss a snap. Sunday at 1 on your home for New York Giants football. 101.9 FM WFAN. And always live on the free Odyssey app.
Mnexspike COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna is now available and easy to find near you. To learn more, visit mnexspike.com. That's MNEXSPIKE.com.
Experience the magic of the season during the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration. Enjoy exclusive holiday offers at Mercedes-Benz of Edison, Mercedes-Benz of Union, and Ray Cattina of Freehold. 3 powerhouse locations, 1 legendary name, Ray Cattina. Discover the power of 3 at benzfam.com.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
We're counting down to Black Friday savings. It's the countdown to Black Friday at Nielsen Dodge. Hundreds of vehicles in stock with big savings off MSRP. Your countdown to the hottest deals is on now.
Lease a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4x4, just $199 a month. Or lease a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Altitude X 4x4, just $224 a month.
We all know it's the biggest sale of the year, and Nielsen's going bigger than ever. You can count on 0 down payment, plus up to $1,500 overbook value for your trade, and the credit help you need.
On Route 10 in East Hanover, online at nielsendodge.com. A proud member of the Nielsen Auto Group.
The countdown is on. Don't miss out.
At Nielsen, Friday's in the driver's seat.
Black Friday sales event. With approval term 24 months due. It's signed Cherokee 5794, Cherokee L 5819, add tax tag 498 doc and DMV fees.
Hey, Newyorkinos! Fast, reliable internet puede ser tuyo when you switch to Fios. Por tiempo limitado, combine Fios Home Internet and a line of mobile por solo $69.99 a month. Get unlimited welcome for $50 a month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees when you bring your phone. And add Fios 300 Mbps for $19.99 a month with AutoPay, mobile plus home discount, and bonus discount. Visit your tri-state area Verizon store hoy mismo to get this limited time offer and switch to our reliable red 5G 100% fibra óptica for eligible new Fios internet and mobile customers. Both the 15 monthly discounts for Fios and bring your phone apply over 36 months. Mobile and home discounts enrollment required. 99 Fios setup charge applies. For unlimited welcome, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE might be temporarily slower than other traffic in times of congestion. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
Town Fair Tire honors any valid rebates, manufacturers or competitors' rebates. Yes, even any competitors' rebates. And we give you the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done. With precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Febreze.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
A win isn't a win without the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The official beer sponsor of the New York Giants. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
It's out back on the Fan. Hoff, what do you got here with this song now? This is a Stranger Things theme.
Oh, you did? You picked up on that?
Well, I know it. I know the show. You haven't watched it, BT? No interest in Stranger Things?
No, my nephew's in it. He was actually on the red carpet last night. He was walking Stranger Things red carpet. I have not gotten into the show.
What is it? Is it coming out soon?
Yes, and they're doing the red carpet for all like the advanced screenings and stuff like that. Like
when is it being released?
Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. So that is soon.
It's
a couple weeks.
Soon. Yeah, and it's like they're doing like a split thing where it's like one episode or like 3 episodes of Thanksgiving, then they're doing some for I think Christmas, and then the final episode it will be dropped on like New Year's.
Now, are you not into it, BT, because you don't like sci-fi, or because it is an '80s feel throwback?
I think I'm gonna love everything with the '80s.
You do?
You guys
What do you
always
mean? I
say
think
that.
you do.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. No, I don't love sci-fi. It's one thing I've never really liked that. I mean, do we consider Star Wars? I guess we do.
Yeah.
Outside of that, like I was never into Star Trek, never into I mean, that's a million years ago, but I just it doesn't really grip me. Now, I am also my wife's gotten into it. I'm also the mindset if I don't get into something early enough, I almost don't waste my time jumping back in. Like Breaking Bad. I never saw Breaking Bad. As crazy as that is, I never saw it because by the time the phenomenon really kind of kicked in mainstream, I was like, nah, I'm too many episodes out, or I'm a season in, or I'm 2 seasons out. And I just never jumped in.
Yeah, I think
the greatest show in the history
no.
of shows.
See, I was just going to say, I think it's overrated, but it is worth a watch to go back. I would go back and invest in something of that quality. That's how good Breaking Bad was. I do not think it was the greatest show ever. People do overrate it.
Breaking Bad? I thought you were talking about Stranger Things.
No, I love Stranger Things. Now, we getting Gaten on or what?
Working on him still.
Oh, okay, I thought maybe you were going to have a special announcement.
We're good. We're good. No. We're still working on that. That's going to happen. I just was more about the fact that there was a red carpet and we didn't get invited again.
You know, I'm still.
My nephew was on it. He actually walked it last night. He was pumped up. It looked great.
Still not too happy with you, BT, for that one. Drop the ball.
The red carpet. The A-Rod stuff.
I did watch last night the first 25 minutes of it.
And?
Fantastic.
It's great, huh?
Yeah, fantastic.
I didn't get to watch it yet.
I think you're going to love it. I love it. I think other baseball fans will love it. That's probably who it is. I don't know. Even my wife was intrigued. And we were watching it before we went to sleep for the first 25 minutes. So A-Rod's such a big figure that it would even get my wife to be interested. And it was going over his life story a little bit.
How's it start? Is it him as a young player? Is it his divorce? Is it steroids?
I mean, it starts with talking a little bit about the steroid stuff, but really it begins as a young player getting drafted.
Okay.
Then coming up, Pinella's in it. And talks about what they saw with A-Rod in it. Stuff about his father, and I didn't even know he was born here in New York.
And the brother's a Mets fan. He's a Mets fan.
Well, that I knew, but he talked about now in the doc, and this is where maybe we get A-Rod on here. I'm going to have to call him out for this.
Got a little inconsistency.
Nothing yet as far as the Mets go. They were showing highlights in the video of Reggie hitting home runs in the World Series in the late 70s.
Okay.
And making it more like Alex said he watched baseball with his father going up. He said Yankees and Mets, but they were showing it was more Yankee
Well, there's no
lean.
highlights from the 70s for the Mets once you get past 73.
All right, but still, it went from that to A-Rod being drafted by the Mariners. I didn't see any 86 Mets stuff or anything like that.
He's been on the record. He loved the Mets, but we'll see.
I'm
you
aware.
know that.
We talked to him about that. So I love it. I'm into it, but I am disappointed we didn't go to the red carpet. You come on, you dropped the ball.
Now Recco's playing the sound from that.
Did he?
Everybody said, yeah, everybody's having a goof at my expense, our expense.
That was a bad look.
By who?
You.
That wasn't a bad look.
We got invited. You never told me.
You're not going to pull me back into this.
Yeah.
I said I took a semi-L. I did only because I was sick. Semi. I had a semi.
All right, BT and Sal on the Fan. And yeah, they get released each Thursday, so it's only one episode. I got about 25 minutes to go in episode 1.
All right.
Then he's a fascinating individual.
There's no question. I don't know that there's anybody... Well, I mean, this is a very broad commentary, but people that I've come across, I don't know that there's anybody in my realm, in my life, in my viewing, in my experience, that, number one, loves baseball the way Alex Rodriguez loves baseball.
Yeah.
He is a savant. I have said that forever. And then the other thing is somebody that was that great, was that polarizing, and that, I don't want to say misread because he really brought most of the problems on himself, as he said.
Right.
That divisive, like that great of a player, outside of like a Bonds with the steroids, like he's just an incredibly fascinating figure who seemingly is much more grounded than he was back in the day. And listen, I did see one thing in the trailer. I haven't jumped into it yet. I will. I can't wait to watch it. But he said something that makes a lot of success, and I think we could all relate to this. I'll paraphrase, but it was something along the lines of, when you're given so much early, all right, your ego doesn't have a checks and balance. When you're that great of a player or a musician or an actress or whatever it might be, a titan of industry, and nobody tells you no and you don't fail, you really believe that you're infallible. And that can destroy marriages because you can think you could do whatever you want. That could mean taking steroids because you think you could do whatever. You're beyond penetration, being found out, being penalized here. And, you have to wonder, I don't know that it would have radically changed his life, but if he's not the first overall pick and if he's not a superstar right away, is it a little bit of a different trajectory for Alex? I don't know, but I do think what he said pertains to a lot of people, makes a lot of sense, just psychologically speaking, about how people are wired when they're great early and nobody ever tells them no.
One thing I will say about this, even in the first 20-something minutes of it, you think, at least I thought, that I knew most of A-Rod's story. And a lot of these times you go back and watch the documentaries and they're refreshers for what you remember or what you knew. I've learned a lot already in the first 20 minutes that I was not aware of.
About growing up out there, like in Westminster?
And we didn't even get, that's what I'm saying,
Really?
we didn't even get into it yet. There's more episodes to come, and I didn't even finish this first episode. So yeah, the father stuff, for some reason in my mind, I don't know if now I don't know what happened, so I'm just going to watch it out in real term. But I thought that there were issues with the father or something growing up.
That's what I kind of thought too.
Right, but he was watching games with his father as a young kid.
But then did his dad leave? I'm sure his dad, something happened.
I don't know. So we didn't get there yet. But anyway.
Because every time Alex talks about his childhood, it was always about really the absence of a father and a male figure to teach him how to...
Right. That's what I thought, and maybe we're getting to that point. But anyway, my point is that I'm learning something as somebody who's followed his career from the beginning. I remember loving him when I was a 15-year-old, whatever it was, when A-Rod first came up as a young 18, 19-year-old in the big leagues. But I'm learning something, so I think it's going to be a good documentary. BT and Sal on the Fan. Anthony calling from New Paltz. What's up, Ant?
What up, Ant?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for taking my call.
Okay.
I got two things. One about the kind of piggyback off that last Giant caller. I think it was 2 calls ago. What about trying to go after Ray Agnew as the new GM and potentially trading for Dan Campbell? I know that's probably shooting for the stars. But another coaching candidate, what about potentially Bill O'Brien? I know he isn't successful right now in Boston College, but he's coached at both levels. So he might be able to handle the young players or like the new generation of player. It's just a shot in the dark because I know Gruden and Belichick are the two that you see most online.
And McCarthy. You start to see that a little bit.
I wouldn't hate that too. I'm just a little nervous that Dayball might get Jackson Dart hurt here with the way he's running them.
Yeah, but that's he's playing him. Dable's playing his rookie quarterback. That's what you should do. Jackson Dart's got to protect himself. He's got to learn that. So I take issue when fans say that, but you're entitled to your opinion, and that's fine.
No, you're right. You are right. He's got to slide. He's got to learn to slide better. But
I like the idea of Bill O'Brien, by the way. Not saying that I would make that higher. I want to see all the options, and that's a name that I wasn't thinking of. I think Bill O'Brien is a very good football coach who had a lot of success in the NFL, sustained success with the Texans, just never got over the top. But I like his resume, Bill O'Brien. I'd be open to it.
I'm just watching. Go ahead, and finish up your thought, bud. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I was just going to say, I've heard him talk. I've seen things about, Bill O'Brien saying part of the problem he had in Houston was getting Deshaun Watson to actually learn the NFL offense. So I feel like we're already ahead of the game with that with Jackson. So that's one of the reasons I just thought about that.
That's a good thought. I wasn't thinking about Bill either. Thanks for the call there, Anthony. I just saw something on Bill. I think it was 2 days ago. I saw a snippet.
Yeah, he went out a media member.
Yeah, he's over at BC, obviously. And my sister went to BC, so I always try to keep an eye on them. Listen, if you're judging Bill O'Brien's record at BC, not that we are.
One, I think.
That's tough. It used to be a football school, going back to Flutie and obviously Matty Ryan, third overall pick back in the day when they battled Virginia Tech for that. It's a great academic school. They don't quite have the NIL money, so it's not a football factory. So whatever, I think he's 1-7, whatever it is. Bill O'Brien's a good football man. I wasn't thinking that necessarily. It's not a bad suggestion. Bill O'Brien had some good years with the Houston Texans, and he's a no-nonsense guy.
Belichick coaching tree.
Yeah.
Had success with the Texans at the NFL level. No nonsense guy. I think can handle New York. I like Bill O'Brien a lot.
I do too. I think he can handle it.
Now, is he going to be the best option? Let's see them. Would I rather have Bill Belichick or Bill O'Brien? Would I rather have Gruden or Bill O'Brien? I like Brian Flores a lot too, but would I rather have him than Belichick? I need to see all the options, realistic options laid out. Again, what if Sean McVay is available via trade? What if Tomlin's available or John Harbaugh? There might be options that we don't think of, but I would put the best way that I could say now is I would put Bill O'Brien on my short list.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be okay with that. I mean, McCarthy to me is a guy that I'm going to keep banging the drum for here. And listen, I threw out Belichick to you a couple of weeks ago. I remember throwing it out a couple of years ago before they hired Dable. I just feel like Bill's kind of done. I think he's done. Like he's interesting, but there's a lot of baggage. Has he really adapted to the NFL? The answer would be no. At least the recent evidence.
We'll get to this later. We're going to take a break, get Nick Costos up. But I would rather have O'Brien than McCarthy. Maybe you feel differently, but we could get more into that coming up in a little bit.
We got a lot of time to talk about this.
Yeah, exactly right. We'll take a break. Nick Costos on the other side when we come back.
All right, FanDuel Fridays cranking up the NBA happy hour heat for you every Friday from 6 to 7:30 Eastern. FanDuel is dropping limited time specials to get you in the zone. Boost and bonuses, surprises, all designed to bring that Friday energy. That's just another promo. This is a little different here, guys. It's a weekly pregame NBA happy hour every Friday, 6 to 7:30 Eastern, only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Visit FanDuel.com/BT to jump in and grab your reward before time expires. That's FanDuel.com/BT. We love the app around here. Safe and secure, and when you win, get paid right away. FanDuel's the official partner and sportsbook of us here at the Fan, WFAN. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions do apply, including bonus and token expiration, lake requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
This is Maggie Gray with an Odyssey Sports Minute. The San Francisco 49ers pretty much stayed pat at the trade deadline, and that tells you everything. John Lynch and company clearly don't think they're just one player away, especially on defense. Even with big names like Nick Bosa and Fred Warner sidelined, Lynch refused to blow up the draft board for a short-term rental. Instead, the 49ers are doubling down on their own guys, trusting depth, coaching, and chemistry to keep them in the hunt at 6-3. I'm Maggie Gray.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is here for the holidays. Enjoy a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium iced or hot coffee, all for $6. It's got everything you need to keep your holiday season running. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead directly on the Dunkin' app. After all, the holidays run on Dunkin'. No substitutions, participation and times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
Who's ready to hit the ice? It'll be another exciting hockey season with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. From same-game parlays to live bets, you can call your shot during any play. Rooting for your favorite players? You'll find all sorts of markets for betting on any star's performance on any given night. Don't miss any of the action on the ice by getting all your picks in with BetMGM. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today and make your bets. BetMGM, make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York only. Subject to eligibility requirements, rewards may vary and expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
If you're thinking about popping the question, don't overthink it. Go where generations of New Yorkers have gone. HL Gross Jewelers in Garden City. These guys have been in the diamond game for over 100 years. 5 generations of helping people find the perfect engagement ring. No pressure, no games, just the best prices, real education, and one-on-one honest service you want when you're making a big decision. Don't make the ring buying experience stressful and trust HL Gross in Garden City. Visit online at hlgross.com.
You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday this season, all the way through the AFC Championship game. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Talk New York sports here. The Fan.
BT, it's out back on The Fan. We'll get back to your calls in a little bit. Right now, we're awaiting Nick Costos, who will be joining us momentarily here. Week 10 in the NFL. Hard to believe, BT. The weeks keep going, moving right along here. And unfortunately, Week 10 with the two teams that we've had in this town, it's the same old story. You know, we can talk about it in the offseason. We can talk about it in season. But here we are yet again after 9 weeks. Both these teams are all but toast. Right before Halloween, and not going to give us any excitement on through Thanksgiving yet again. But around the league, there's a lot of exciting football to be played. As we welcome in right now.
Thank God for that, man.
Jeez. On the line is Nick Costos, host of You Bet or You Bet and Odyssey Sports Betting Insider. Insider calls presented by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Check the latest lines on the BetMGM app. Catch You Bet or You Bet weekdays 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern and You Bet or You Bet Countdown down at kickoff Sundays, 11 to 1 Eastern time, leading you up to kickoff on the BetMGM network on the Odyssey app. I catch them every Sunday morning as well, 8 a.m. right here on the Fan. All right, Nick, what are we thinking here of your football Giants? All the news that's gone on this week. Dable, Shane, keep one, keep the other. Of course, an awful performance against the Niners, getting set to take on the Bears.
So, great to be on with you guys. Do you want me to talk about like what should happen or what's going to happen on Sunday in this game? Like whatever you guys want.
But first, hit the news about, maybe both aren't going to be gone. Maybe Shane could be back and Dable could be gone. Before we get to the betting stuff, just it's been an interesting week in the news for the Giants.
Yeah, it's a brain dead organization. Like, I don't. No?
No, I'm just saying you have a way with words.
Continue.
Is all I'm saying.
No,
Yeah.
like they're incredibly dumb. They should have. I mean, this is just. We could have recorded the same conversation we had like last year and just like replay it. It's the same exact thing a year later. And if they come back, we'll be saying the same thing a year from now. Like that, the team is terrible. It's year 4. They're going to go like 4-13 in year 4, and we're going to do this song and dance that one of them should come back. I'm so like I don't even want to get mad about it. It's become less of something I get angry about and more like it actually makes me sad how stupid this fan base is. Not all of them, not all Giants fans are dumb, but the Giants fans that want to say, well, there's like Joe Shane has picked some good players, so let's keep him, or like Jackson Dart looks good, so let's keep Dable and get rid of Shane. Guys, it's almost 4 years. They're one of the worst teams in the league. It's time to go. It's been time to go. They needed to fire them last season because now what you have is we're the Chicago Bears. We are the Tennessee Titans, where the next coaching staff or the next general manager is going to inherit a quarterback, whether he's good or not, that they didn't draft. Like, that's what this is going to be. So this, should one return, which one should it be, is crazy. They both need to go. They've been here 4 years. The team sucks. Stop it. Enough already. Enough. Grow up.
All right, you like their chances in Chicago this weekend?
they have a I mean, the Bears defense is atrocious. Like, they've got a chance to put up some points in this game. Now, I want to see what the Friday injury report has to hold for the Giants, who the injury report yesterday is like a CVS receipt with all the names on it. It's so damn long. Also, something to consider with this game, and Sal, I'll talk about it more on Sunday morning. I don't like to play weatherman, but we have to this time of year. The total of this game was 48.5. We're now at 46.5. That is not just like a move through random numbers. 47 is a key number when we talk about betting totals. If you think about, you don't have to be a math major to figure this out, how the scoring in the NFL works. 47 is a number that matters. We have gone now through 47 down because there's potential snow and wind in the forecast on Sunday in Chicago. So, if we get to Sunday morning, weather is fickle. It's possible that weather clears up. And if it's just snow, that's not going to be an impediment to scoring. Wind is what messes up offenses. If the wind is not going to be bad and the injury report is not totally brutal for the Giants can definitely cover this number. Like, the Bears are not very good despite their record. Do I have faith the Giants will win the game? I don't, because the head coach is a loser as far as not saying in his personal life. He could be like a really nice guy and like a great dad, friend, whatever. But as far as being an NFL head coach is, like, he loses every game. And we want to have, I'm sorry, guys. This, like, do you realize that this is now year 3 of me, yet we're still doing this? Like, we're going to be 10 years in the future being like, should we bring Dable and Shane back? Like, at what point is enough enough? When does that happen?
Well, I mean, for all of us on the board here think it should have happened last year, and we all think that it should happen this year. I mean, it's absolutely maddening here. Let me ask you this, though. Let's just kind of push this forward, because we can lament this all day, and nobody's wrong. We all know the deal. Like, so the Bears, like, you just said the Bears aren't that good, and I don't really disagree. They beat Vegas, they beat the Saints, they beat the Commanders. Okay, not incredibly impressive wins here, but who is good in the NFC? Because every team that you look at, whether it's Philly, whether it's the Bucs, whether it's Seattle, Green Bay for sure, like, it's hard to have any unwavering conviction that there's a team that is bulletproof. I think the NFC is just very average this year.
Well, I think I agree with the first part of what you said. I don't know if I agree that the NFC is average, because I think you've got a bunch of teams that you can all argue their ultimate upside is to win the Super Bowl. I would put the Eagles on that list. And this is where, BT, the first part of what you said, I'll agree with you, right? Like the Packers have the upside in any one given game to beat any team in the league and be very impressive in doing so. They also have the ability, and we saw it last week against Carolina, we saw it in week 3 against Cleveland, to lay like a Humpty Dumpty sized egg and like lose to any team on any given day. So like I understand the point about Green Bay, but we have to acknowledge like the upside of that team is very high. Lions, I think, have a very high upside. The Seahawks, I think, upside is to go to the Super Bowl. They're awesome. And if you could guarantee me, and you can't, obviously, and that's just not you, and nobody can guarantee it. No. If Sam Darnold could play in January like he's been playing in the regular season, like the Seahawks are the best team in the conference. Yeah, but you can't guarantee that, obviously. And you also have the Rams, who are awesome as well.
No, but the only thing here is like, yeah, I get it, Nick. Somebody from the NFC is going to go to the Super Bowl. But I feel like, and if I'm misunderstanding or misrepresenting what you're saying, then by all means check it. But I don't feel like you're pointing to a team and saying they could get there because I think that they're a potent power. It almost seems like, well, somebody's going to get there, and there's a lot of good teams, but some flawed teams. So it's one of those years, which is kind of what I was saying before.
I think they might all be powerhouses.
Really?
All of them.
Who do you think's
Seattle,
the best?
Tampa?
Who do I don't think I would not put Tampa in the class with those teams.
They got 6 wins. They're the second seed right now.
For me, for you, they could be in.
No, they're not for me, but go ahead.
The powerhouse teams for me, and this is all like the NFL is the ultimate week-to-week league. Things can change. That's not me copping out. It's like, let's just have an honest conversation about it, right? So for me, the powerhouse teams are Philadelphia, Green Bay, Detroit, Seattle, the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah. And you've been on Seattle.
Those are the teams.
You've been on Seattle from the beginning of the year, so I give you credit. Week 1, you were saying that their defense can be legit. I'm not a believer in Darnold. I know you're maybe.
He's been great. Yeah, there's no denying it. It doesn't mean that he'll turn into they won't turn into a pumpkin at the end like he did last year. But he has been like magnificent this year.
So then, who do you think is the best team in the NFC?
Probably right now, given the inconsistency. So at the end, I think it'll be the Eagles because I think they're the most talented. But right now, the answer to the question is the Los Angeles Rams.
I agree with you with the Rams. By the way, back to the Bears real quick before we move on. We could get some Jets and go around the AFC a little bit.
Great.
Do you think the Bears are living up to the expectations since they hired Ben Johnson?
No. And the reason why is because the quarterback hasn't been great. And that was the whole point of Ben Johnson is that he takes Caleb Williams and turns him into an absolute megastar. And I think like that's the main reason why I'm a little disappointed in Chicago. And look, like the defense is bad. Like they got annihilated last week by Joe Flacco and the Bengals. Like the defense is not very good. The run game has been, and I'll throw out a name who your audience may not be familiar with, but there's a guy named Brandon Thorne in the NFL media who like analyzes offensive line play, works for the website Establish the Run, and does a bunch of NFL media, like a really trusted offensive line evaluator. He just came out with his midseason offensive line like rankings list. The Bears were 8th. And that's leagues and miles better of what they've been in the past. So like they've been a really good run blocking team, for instance. But the whole point of Ben Johnson, and I'm not saying like Caleb Williams can't get there, and they're 5-3, so like the wins and losses have been there. The quarterback's got to play way better for me to believe Chicago is going to get to where it wants to go.
Hey, by the way, where were the Jets and the Giants on that list? Because the Jets O-line's been pretty good, and the Giants has at least improved a little bit. Where are they?
Sure. Let me. I will get it for you here. I'm on the website.
I just want to follow him on social media. Good call.
Yeah,
he's
excellent. He's excellent covering NFL media. Let me see here. Thorne.
I would think the Jets are probably inside the top 12 at this point.
Here we go.
They've been pretty good.
Okay, so he has the Jets are 17th.
Yeah, this guy stinks. I'm not going to follow this guy.
And the Giants are 24th. Those are his rankings right now for those teams.
The circles that you run in, which are primarily gaming and gambling, obviously, but you got well sourced and connected around the league. I mean, is there anybody that just overtly criticized what the Jets did like is dumb? Because I think what the Jets did with the trades was brilliant. What did you hear this week?
Yeah, I would say there's a great acronym, YDKB, which stands for You Don't Know Ball. and I would say that to anyone who wants to be like, the Jets fouled this up. Like, they didn't. The idea, and like I've seen like a lot of people make this argument, and like people that I think are smart and like that I respect, like that are really good at their jobs. It's like, well, you need draft picks to take guys like Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams. And I will take a trip back in the time machine, and like this audience will appreciate what I'm about to say. So the late great Giants general manager George Young, right? Who helped build the Parcells Super Bowl and oversaw some bad teams also, but a legendary name in NFL and in New York football circles.
No question.
Embroiled in a contract dispute in the 80s, prior to Parcells and the team really taking off and winning a Super Bowl championship in 86 and in 90 with star linebacker at the time, Brad Van Pelt. And I believe they were only playing 15 games per year at the point when they had this conversation. And I think, and I'm paraphrasing the line to Van Pelt in this contract dispute when he let Van Pelt walk was, and if I'm getting the details wrong and there's an old-time Giants fan, like you understand like the spirit of what I'm saying. We went 2-13 with you. We can go 2-13 without you. So like this idea that the Jets have traded like these two unbelievable players, like guys, they suck. Like they're 1-7. Like you can go 1-7 and have a brutal defense with Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. So why not go 1-7 without them and have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 drafts? Like this is. It's brilliance on top of brilliance. Now you might say, well, they're going to screw it up. Like, okay, maybe, but just because like John Idzik screwed stuff up or other Jets general managers screwed, Terry Bradway screwed up or Mike Tannenbaum screwed up, does not mean Darren Mucci's going to screw up. Maybe they get it right. And the whole thing, if you want to argue, well, the draft is a crapshoot, then great. They take more swings at the plate. Now you've got 5. So what the Jets have done, they're going to get the quarterback evaluation wrong. You don't know that. You don't know that. Maybe they get it right. Now you have basically guaranteed yourself, if you're the Jets, with these assets, this war chest of assets, the quarterback that you want this year or in 27, and I wouldn't discount BT them waiting until 27 to take that quarterback.
I agree.
I'm not saying that
that's
will happen.
possible. Yep.
And also, like, I don't know. I know this New York's a pro sports town. Ohio State has a wide receiver named Jeremiah Smith who can't go pro until next year, until 27. There's a chance that he could go number 1 overall in the draft. Like, he's a generational receiver prospect. And if you don't know who I would get familiar with him if you're a Jets fan. Because the Jets have 3 first-round picks in 27. They have set themselves up, and yes, like people that say they could screw the picks up, yes, they could screw them up. But you need to give yourselves as many bites at the apple as possible. I give the Jets, BT, A+++ for what they did a couple days ago.
It's a good read, man. I'm with you.
I think it's the only read. But Nick's right.
Not for some people, though.
There are some people with the thought process of, now you just have to draft players that will like Sauce.
Correct.
No, this is a rebuild. This is what you do. You want, of course they may miss, but they also might hit. You want Muji and Glenn to pick their guys for better or worse.
It's just a loser attitude to be like, well, like they've screwed up the quarterback position in the past, so now they're like that's like the gambler's fallacy, honestly. It's like, well, like I've been watching this roulette wheel and it's come up black 10 times, so now it has to be red. Like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be that. And just because they've screwed up in the past doesn't mean this regime's going to screw up. They might, but you don't know that.
Did anything that happened last week in the AFC change your mind, whether it be the Bills and their big win over the Chiefs, or whether it be the Colts' performance? What were you taking from last week in the NFL, in the AFC?
I'll tell you what, big time egg on my face for loving Indianapolis and Kansas City last week. Not my best performance picking games, and I felt that on Sunday. Look, like I'll give my opinion just on the Chiefs. And look, Indy, I don't know if they'll cover this weekend against Atlanta. I do think the Colts will
What is that line?
6.5.
Yeah. I mean, the Falcons, they stink. If it were in Indy, I'd 100% bet the Colts. Being a neutral site, who knows?
Yeah, I think like Atlanta can probably cover the spread. That to me feels like you're going to have games like this over the course of a season. They turned it over 6 times. They still outgain the Steelers yards per play, but you turn it over 6 times, you're going to lose. To me, that feels like an outlier performance for the Colts. Do you know who, guys, the favorite is right now to win the Super Bowl?
It's got to be somebody from the AFC.
Is it the Bills?
No, not the Bills. Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Still.
So Kansas City's 5-4.
Yeah.
And look, like I bet Kansas City last week. They lost by 7. Like we all watched the game, right? The ratings were crazy. That's a flattering scoreline for Kansas City. Like the Bills beat the stuffing out of them in the game. And the betting market, which doesn't have to be right, but it's got a ton of money in it, right? So it's pretty sharp. Basically looked at that result and gave the shrug emoji. Like, okay, great. Because when we get to January, the Chiefs have Mahomes, and just my opinion, and I can be wrong about this, that to me, just that game felt like Buffalo laid all its cards on the table for a late October, early November game, and now the Chiefs will have an opportunity to answer them if and when they play in January.
They had a bad injury, too. Their linebacker with a ruptured Achilles for the Bills, who was playing well, who just got back, I think, off the PED suspension. I'm forgetting his name, but they're going to miss him.
Yeah, he was excellent in the game last week before he went out with the torn Achilles.
Yeah.
But I will say for Buffalo, and their rookie corner Maxwell Hairston played last week, and his presence adds a lot to that defense. So I do think Buffalo's defense will be better. But look, do I think they're better than Kansas City? Nothing will have me believing that until the Bills slay the Dragon in January. I still think it's the Chiefs in the AFC.
Another win for the Broncos last night. Not that I'm paying attention to it.
Come on, Sal. You watched the game, right?
I did not. A win is a win. No, I actually didn't.
What did you watch? There was no sports on last night.
Yeah, it has been time with the wife, dude. I need a breather here at some point here. Get the Knicks every night.
That's Tuesday and Wednesday for me.
Yeah, I get it. And plus yesterday on the air, even though I believe in Denver, I did not feel good about this game. I stayed away from the Broncos in a survivor pool, and I wouldn't have touched them. I would have taken the Raiders. Either way, though, starting to separate themselves maybe a little bit in that AFC West.
Well, you know who they play next week, right?
I can't wait.
Broncos, Chiefs in Denver. And I'll say this, the Broncos, I think the Chiefs will win. The Broncos could win that game. Their defense is awesome. The Denver problem, which is like the newest John Grisham novel, The Firm, The Pelican Brief, and The Denver Conundrum, is that when they get to the playoffs, the quarterback's just bad.
Bo Nix isn't good enough. He's not good enough.
I would actually BT, you're being kind. He's bad.
Well, I'm not as mean as you know.
Yeah, which is
morons and jerks and idiots.
Oh, yep. Bo Nix kind of brain dead at the quarterback position.
All right, Nick. We look forward to listening to you, of course, Sunday morning, 8 a.m. right here on The Fan. Thanks again, dude.
Great. Wishing everybody minimal sweats, winning bets, the absolute very best of luck.
That was the host of You Better, You Bet, and Odyssey Sports Betting Insider, Nick Costos. Insider Calls presented by BetMGM. Make it legendary. For all your betting and sports talk needs, check out the BetMGM network on the Odyssey app. We'll take a break. We'll get back to your calls, 888-808-1019. Perfect Parlay Pick segment, Week 10 coming up at 1:20. Right now, let's get you updated. Here's Andrew Bogut.
Get the latest on the Giants and Jets on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash. Good afternoon at 1 o'clock. I'm Andrew Bogish. Your Sports Flash is sponsored by Chef IQ. Precision cooking, effortless results. ChefIQ.com. And by Ray Cattina Lexus of Freehold and Ray Cattina Lexus of Monmouth. No one sells more Lexus vehicles in New Jersey than Ray Cattina Lexus. Get into the holiday spirit during the Lexus December to Remember sales event. Unwrap exceptional offers on all models, including the all-new GX and TX at Ray Cattina Lexus of Freehold and Ray Cattina Lexus of Monmouth. One of the Mets' first base options this winter is Japanese slugger Munetaka Murakami. He'll reportedly be officially posted by his current team today, which means his 45-day window for talking to MLB teams begins tomorrow morning. Murakami is just 25 and owns the Palm Professional Baseball single-season home run record for a Japanese-born player with 56 back in 2022. Commanders QB Jaden Daniels reportedly avoided ligament damage and broken bones when he dislocated his left elbow Sunday night. That means no surgery and no IR for now. The Commanders will reevaluate Daniels during their Week 12 bye. And the Nets host the Pistons in an NBA Cup game tonight. Pregame 7:20 here in the Fan. Tip-off is shortly after 7:30. Fan weather is sponsored by Moderna. It is 59 and sunny in Central Park, and that's what's happening. Sports flashes, top of every hour. I'm Andrew Bogish.
It's Chris McMonagle overnights on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
There is no way Joe Shane should stay if Brian Dable leaves. No way. That makes absolutely zero sense. They are now tied together. If there's a change coming, it's an entire regime change.
Listen to CMAC on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Mnexspike COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna has arrived. To learn more and find it near you, visit mnexspike.com. That's MNEXSPIKE.com.
John Ryan.
Yeah, Dad.
I think I came up with a killer slogan for our law firm. D'Agostino & Associates, bite back.
Bite back?
Yeah. When someone hurts you, you bite back. We'll be the law firm that bites back.
Dad, that's brilliant. Accident victims, call D'Agostino & Associates and bite back. Hey, we could even put a big vicious dog on billboards everywhere.
Yeah, and Rottweilers on buses.
Hey, how about a toll-free number?
What are you thinking?
Like 1-800-BITE-BACK.
1-800-BITE-BACK. That's brilliant. But what if people hear fight back? Easy. I'll spell it out for them, like 1-800-BITE. Back. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
Love it. Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
All this talk about biting back got me hungry.
Me too. Want to grab lunch?
Sure. Hey, how about a jingle?
You mean like D'Agostino, Law, Bite Back?
Watch every New York game at Tap Room, now with 9 Long Island locations. Enjoy Sunday game day specials, Wing Night Thursdays, and Kids Eat Free Tuesdays. Find your spot at taproomofny.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
BT and Tal Show on the Fan, presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Football Giants. We'll get back to the calls here. We got the Perfect Parlay Pick segment coming up in about 10 minutes. Week 10 in the NFL. 888-808-1019, the number to call. Jerry is calling from Rye, New York, with an interesting thought. What's up, Jerry?
Well, I'm a longtime Giants fan. First of all, I hope that the Giants sit tight before they make any decisions with the GM and the head coach.
Yeah, wait 10 years.
Okay, well, everybody's crying for their heads. But in any event, last year we had Barkley. This year, I think Danny Dimes goes to Disney World against the Packers. How about that for a call?
Nah, we don't want to see. We don't want to see him here. Multiple reasons why I don't want to watch Daniel Jones in the Super Bowl. I also don't want to see the Colts have a good record because I want the Jets pick to be better. Go. So let's not get Daniel Jones in the Super Bowl.
No, they got to lose.
Well, they don't have to lose so fast. They got a pretty good team.
We know. We know, Jim.
And listen, the most important thing is thoughts and prayers for John Mara with his health. And we hope that they sit tight with that GM and that head coach and see how the season plays out. I don't want to see the head coach get fired necessarily when we have a quarterback. No, we have a quarterback. I think he works well with the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And I hate to see him. Well, listen, they chose him. He wanted to come to New York. And, give him some time. That's what I say. I don't want to see the Giants do the same thing they did with Daniel Jones.
Right, but Jerry, it's been 4 years.
Well, football is how long did George Young have? You were talking about George Young.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, that's before my time. I'm just talking about right now and the way the NFL is. If you want to invest in these guys, Jerry, and thank you for the call. If you want to invest in Shane and Dable, first of all, if you're going to invest in them, then it should be beyond this year, which is something we talked about last year. When they selected a new quarterback, you were kind of extending them to next year anyway. The problem is you didn't factor in the way that they lost the Dallas game, the way that they lost the Denver game, the same nonsense with the kicker, the roster being not as good as everybody thought. I don't know how you can see that and say, well, give him a chance, give him a little more time. It doesn't mean that Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll will never win. What it means is you're going to be going beyond 4 years of evaluation, and you're ignoring what has been a god-awful record by any way, shape, or form, any measurement.
This conversation has to end after the season. This can't continue. It can't. It just can't. We can't have this conversation anymore. You know, one thing I said to Sal earlier, probably an hour or so ago, if you guys want to check it out on the app, but the brief reset, the free Odyssey app, was trying to, get a sense of if Shane would stay and Dable would be fired, which is one of the themes, and obviously we've been hitting that. And I asked Sal, I said, hey, do you think they're going to take a big swing at head coach? And your answer was?
No, okay. I don't.
That's what you said. Now, if you're right, then, and it's a Kafka or it's a coordinator or it's somebody internally elevated, whatever it might be, or somebody else from a different franchise that's a coordinator, then, not that I would do this to be clear, then I could see Shane staying and the first-time coach coming in. If they're going to take a big swing, a Belichick, a McCarthy, a trade for somebody, even maybe a Billy O'Brien, I don't know how that coach would want to come in under that kind of arrangement where the general manager is hanging by a thread, but yet he has to answer to him for a year. It doesn't make sense to me.
Let's simplify this. We now have 4 years of a track record. There is a resume here, 4 years of evidence, of moves, of record that we can go off of. If there was an opening tomorrow for you were hiring an NFL team, your life depended on trying to turn this team into a winner, would you hire Joe Shane?
No, of course not. I would not. No, I would
of course not. He wouldn't be on the list. So then why is it acceptable to keep him here another year?
Don't know. I don't know. It's not acceptable for every other team in our city to lose and lose repeatedly and lose ugly, and they're not absolved and spared of those conversations. I mean, hell, the Yankees lose 2 games to the Orioles on a random July, and you got Yankee fans going bonkers on Monday calling us up. Same with Mendoza, who had a really good first year. Last year wasn't that good. He's hanging by a thread. He's got one of the hottest seats in baseball. It's the way it goes.
What is
Tom Thibodeau? You didn't get to the championship. Get out. I mean, yet the Giants get a lease on life despite never winning. Stop.
But it's not just. Let's have the quick trigger.
No.
He's had 4 years. I'm still waiting. We've had this conversation for 10 weeks, it seems, or 2 years. I'm still waiting for somebody to please tell me what has Joe Shane done that is worth keeping him. Period. Let alone keeping him and firing the head coach. If you ask me, what has Dable done that would be worth keeping? I can give you examples. Year 1, coach of the year with a crappy roster. Took over Gettleman's roster, got to the postseason with a quarterback who I didn't think was very good, won a playoff game. Year 4, at the very least, identifying the right quarterback and having some success. Again, it wouldn't be enough for me to keep him, but I could give you something. What has Joe Shane done? And if you're going to say, well, he drafted Jackson Dart, okay, fair enough. But then that means he's tied with Dable together with Dart, and you want to see this through beyond this year. And based on the evidence that we've now seen, I don't know how you would want to run that back and take that risk.
It's exhausting.
Good God.
It's ridiculous.
He's been horrible. Not to mention the Hard Knock show that exposed him. He's in over his head. It was a fine hire. They gave it a shot.
They went outside the organization, which we begged them to do. Please try it. They did. It hasn't worked out.
It didn't work for 4 years. They were more than... You couldn't make this decision after 3 years. They didn't. They gave him the extra year. Fair enough. This year again. If you're not judging them based on their 2-7 record through 9 weeks for the last 3 years.
I mean, that's what, 4-21, 6-21. Wow.
Like, that is so bad. It's gotten so bad this year that even my original thought coming into this year of, well, if you're going to let them stay and run another draft and select their own quarterback, it should be beyond just the 2025 football season. That is what I believe at my core. However, it is so bad this year, I don't know how you could stick to that anymore.
They're not going to. They're not. They're not going to. I really don't think that they will.
I'm not as sure as you are. Steve is in Fairport, New York. What's up, Steve?
Hey, Stevie.
BT and Sal, Sidney Sweeney's favorite.
Top of the list.
All right, guys, you just ate up a couple of my points, but let's talk about the Giants and forget the record, as miserable as that is. Let's say these guys were 500 right now. Let's talk about John Mara and what John Mara cares about. He cares about the legacy of the Giants, he cares about his players, and he cares about the stadium and the fan base. Legacy. Those two yam heads go out and throw up one of the worst seasons in New York Giant history, if not the worst, when they're celebrating their 100-year anniversary. Number one. Number two, you're right. They go on Hard Knocks, and they embarrass the organization to the point where they are laughing in Mara's face when he begs them not to get rid of Saquon, when he says he won't sleep if they go to Philly. Shane says to him, he ain't going to Philly. We're going to be okay. How did that turn out? Super Bowl and an MVP.
Yeah, but hold on a second, Steve. Hold on, Steve. And Mr. Mara could have said, hey, it's not happening. I know what he said on Hard Knocks, and I know what Shane's response was. But if he did not want him to allow him to do that, he could have stepped in and said, it's not happening. You're not sending him there.
I don't disagree with you.
Okay.
Last season, too, they were banking on Daniel Jones. He had to have a good season. So how do they start the kid off? They start him off by letting him watch Hard Knocks and looking at them joyfully trying to replace him. And he ends the season playing safety on the practice squad for a week before he gets picked up.
I forgot about
you want to talk about an embarrassment. And then finally, the stadium and the fan base, your 23-year-old possible superstar franchise quarterback just said at a press conference last week, essentially, how embarrassing it was that the San Francisco 49er fans were affecting their play.
Yeah. I mean, very well said there, Stephen. Thank you for the call. Hard to argue all those points. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
It's got to be time. The difference that you and I have now is you believe that they are going to make those right moves. I'm not so sure that they are. If I had a bet right now, I think they fire Dable and keep Shane. And it shouldn't even be a thought. I shouldn't even be feeling that. It doesn't mean that I'm right. I shouldn't even be feeling that whatsoever.
Yeah.
You got to move on.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, it's enough with these two guys.
Well, and just because Jackson Dart said what he said about the Niner fans, and, he wasn't wrong, and we've seen this with the Jets as well, where opposing fans just come over. I mean, there was 40,000 Steeler fans there week one. I mean, Daniel Jones could have said the same thing over the years. There were moments where Eli could have said the same thing. Like, when you... Now, this is not going to happen in other cities, but when you are in New Jersey and the name of your team is New York and you got 8 million people and it's a very transient city and it's a hub of the world, you're going to have a lot of transplants and people coming in for a weekend that are going to want to watch their team. So you're going to have Cowboy fans and Niner fans and Steeler fans and Raven fans and Eagle fans and all the fans that have that big brand around the NFL that are going to make themselves more comfortable in our stadium more so than other stadiums. The one exception was when the Chargers were playing in that soccer stadium for a couple of years before SoFi opened up. It was always the opposing fans. But like that's not a new thing. That's been like that. Just because Jackson Dart said it doesn't mean it just happened. Nobody else really said it, though, like he did. He communicated very honestly because he's a winner, because he's not used to this.
Point is, that's the fans speaking. And if the owner can't realize that, again, another year, I don't know how he could, with a straight face, turn around and say, we're going to fire Brian Dable and Joe Shane's the guy. I believe in Joe Shane. There's going to be a revolt. It's going to continue.
Yeah,
it's just time. It's gotten so bad that it's just it's over.
But here's the problem. Now, I know you have it in front of you, right? Go to the back end of the Giants schedule.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. So I don't think they win this week. Obviously, the Bears, they got more of a chance to win this, I think, than some of the other games coming up. But when you get to the Final Four games, read them. Who are they playing the Final Four games?
Washington, the Vikings,
could
at Raiders,
could
Cowboys.
Could beat them.
Could. I mean, I thought they could have beaten the Niners or should have beaten the Niners. Same thing with the Bears this week. Who the hell knows with this team? And that's why once I made my decision, and I hope that they made their decision, not reacting emotionally to blowing the Denver game, but then giving it another couple weeks after that and seeing how the team has performed since then. I don't know. I don't care if they go 8-0, which they're not going to. I still wouldn't bring them back. I believe they've made their decision on Dable. I don't believe they've made their decision on Shane, and I'm not sure why anything would change their minds over the final 8 weeks.
I think Dable's absolutely gone. I really do. And I believe that if the scoreboard and the optics of of Sunday's game are really ugly, I think that he will be gone after the game. I think there's a real chance that Brian Dable is coaching his last Giants game this weekend. And I don't really even feel that. And at that point, I would agree with that. I think you got to kind of change the energy because the general manager is less involved day to day. I don't feel it quite as urgent. But unless the Giants were to win 3 out of 4, and I'm not even agreeing that the results should usurp the last 3+ years, but if they do go on a little win streak at the end of the year, I think they'll bring Shane back, which I would not agree with. But at the end of the day, I do think both are gone.
Perfect parlay pick segment week 10 when we come back. If you've tried dealing with neck pain, backaches, even sciatica, stop messing around and go see the guys at Samwell Institute for Pain Management. That's Dr. Shah, Dr. Ko, and Dr. Sitapra. They've got offices in Colonia, Inglewood, and Livingston. And here's the best part. They focus on non-opioid, minimally invasive, non-surgical treatments. Real solutions that can actually get you back to feeling like yourself again. Check out the thousands of 5-star reviews that trust Samwell. So turn to Samwell Pain for relief. Go to SamwellPain.com. That's SamwellPain.com.
I'm Michael Jenkins, here to help you beat the books with BetMGM Network. We're taking West Virginia minus 6.5 on Saturday against Colorado. Mountaineers coming off a major win against Houston last week, but this is more of a fate of Colorado. The Buffs have been a disaster this year. Between massive roster changes and an unfortunate health concern for Dion, they've never really gotten to a rhythm, so they're traveling across the country, and we don't trust them. Take West Virginia minus 6.5. I'm Michael Jenkins from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter, beat the books, and download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
Beware the holiday buffering.
Who are you?
The ghost of Internet Past here to slow down right when your guests arrive.
Not this year. We got Verizon's 100% fiber optic home internet. Scored a limited time offer for $20 a month and locked in the price for 3 years.
Fios home internet. That's scary fast.
Now we can all stream, video chat, and game at the same time. So bye.
Call 1-833-VERIZON to switch to Fios Home Internet today. Fios 300 megabits per second plan at $20 a month with autopay. Any Verizon mobile phone plan and bonus discount. Price guarantee applies to base monthly rate only for my home customers. Terms apply.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/play.
So, there's this guy, Paul Rivera, grew up in the Bronx. As a kid, he made some mistakes, but right out of high school, he joins the Army. Picks up skills, does construction and HVAC his whole life. Paul Rivera's a guy who can say,
I love my life. I've done everything right. So, where's the rub?
He gets pulmonary fibrosis, and the only hope is a lung transplant. Poor guy's close to curtains. When out of the blue, one hospital, Montefiore Einstein, hears about his case and takes it on. Not only does our friend get a new lung, he gets a whole new life. Right. He keeps getting stronger. Everyone in his neighborhood is like,
Did they give that guy a new lung or a new motor?
The story, Mr. Giamatti. Well, you ought to know, Mr. Rivera. You lived it.
Everyone loves a comeback. Montefiore Einstein, national leader in transplant.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is here for the holidays. Enjoy a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium hot or iced coffee, all for $6. It's got everything you need to keep your holiday season running. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead directly on the Dunkin' app. After all, the holidays run on Dunkin'. No substitutions. Participation times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
By now, everyone knows that I love my Elevate Hydrogen-Infused Super Water. Oh, I've told you all about how amazing I'm feeling. The science speaks for itself. But did you know that even longevity experts, pro athletes, and many doctors choose Elevate for its benefits? And they want you to have a chance to make Elevate your water of choice. So here's what they are offering today. Simply go to Instagram or Facebook, send them a direct message with the word Boomer, and they will send you a link to receive up to 12 of their premium super waters 100% free. I can't wait for you to try it.
Nissan trucks and SUVs are built for next level adventure. Too much gear? Dirt? Rock? Sand? Get in a Nissan truck or SUV and feel unstoppable. Whether you want to take your next level of adventure in the Frontier Dark Armor, the Pathfinder, the Armada, or the Rogue, you'll be ready for what comes your way. Nissan. #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. Now get 0% APR financing for 60 months on the 2026 Nissan Rogue Platinum. Visit jdpower.com/awards for information based on 2025 model year 2026 Rogue from new dealer stock. 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per thousand financed. Down payment may vary, subject to NMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price. See dealer for details. Ends 12/1/25.
FanDuel Friday is turning it up with NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. FanDuel is dropping limited time specials to get you in the zone. Boosts, bonuses, surprises, all designed to bring that Friday energy. This isn't just another promo, it's your weekly pregame. NBA Happy Hour every Friday, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Visit FanDuel.com/Boomer to grab your reward before the clock expires. That's FanDuel.com/Boomer. Now, we all love the app around here. It is safe and secure, and when you win, you get paid fast. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of WFAN.
21 and over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Football Fridays on The Fan are sponsored by Oxford Health Plans from United Healthcare. Time to pick a health plan for your business? Visit uhc.com/Oxford today.
I'm Colonel Callahan of the New Jersey State Police. If you're caught driving impaired, you'll face hefty fines, a suspended license, and maybe even jail time. Worse yet, you might cause a crash that could devastate someone's life. Be responsible. Don't drive impaired. We are all counting on you.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, The Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
It's time for the BT and South football picks, brought to you by Cash App.
It is week 10, perfect parlay pick segment. Last week, you guys were both out. I did not cash the perfect parlay, 2 out of 3, and I'm still so damn annoyed at that because they had 2 good picks with the Colts, with the Steelers beating the Colts and the Bills beating the Chiefs, but I lost on the stinking Giants, losing, getting embarrassed by the Niners. Anyway, we move on to week 10. Hoff has 155 points in first. I have 90 in second. BT, you have 40 in third place. 2 team is 25. 3 team is 50. 4 team is 100. Not late yet, but we're getting there. Week 10. What do you got, BT? Some work to do here.
I do. Hit me. Music time. Let's go. Time is ticking. I mean, there's, we keep saying this. Well, it's not late yet. It's almost Thanksgiving. It's getting late, dude. Who are we kidding? I mean, I got to start winning some of these games here. Been an embarrassing performance by me. What may be my worst in 15 or 20 years doing this. I'm just not getting it done. First up, I got to start taking bigger swings. I can't go for those little check downs. I got to start throwing the ball downfield. I'm going for 3-teamers. I'm not quite the 4 Hail Mary, but I'm going for 3 spot. The Bills, and I'm trying to prey on desperation, vulnerable spots. Miami's vulnerable. They don't care about their season. Their GM was recently fired. Their coach will be fired soon. Then Miami stinks. The Bills obviously coming off a big-time win. Now, the danger here is that do the Bills exhale a little bit because they just smacked around Kansas City, feeling good about themselves? No, because I don't think they were playing very well before that. And if they were, maybe you get a letdown here. But because they were down, then up, I think they're going to really try to stay up. I'm going to take the 8.5 points from Buffalo. I'm going to lay them to smack Miami 30-14, 34-17, something like that. Bills big. Up next, okay, the Browns and the Jets. I don't know if the Jets are going to win. I don't know if the Jets are going to cover. I have no idea, although I'll give you an opinion on that when we make the actual Jets and the Giants pick in a minute. I do know the weather is going to be awful, and I also know that both teams are very challenged throwing the ball anyway when it's sunny and 70 degrees out, benign weather conditions. So it's going to be raining most of the day. The over-under is 37.5. What happens? Run, tick, clock goes down. Give me the under. Browns and the Jets at MetLife, 37.5. And finally, now, I might get burned by this. I know they're good. I don't think they're as good as some of you think they are. And I'm talking about Seattle. Now, this is a big number. It's almost a touchdown. Jacoby Brissett, obviously playing for the injured Kyler Murray, is a good, functional, solid quarterback. Divisional matchup, blah, blah, blah. Give me Arizona, plus 6.5 out in Seattle. Tough venue, I understand that. So, in summation, a 3 spot. Bills minus 8.5 against Miami. Down in Miami. Bills should crush them. Under, Jets, Browns, 37.5. Give me the under. And give me the Cards, plus almost a touchdown, 6.5 up in Seattle.
All right, there you go. Some work to do. Those are the Week 10 picks for BT. Hoff, you're the leader somehow by a miracle.
Somehow.
You hit that.
Some way.
You hit that 4-teamer. What do you got, Hoff?
Is this Peter Cetera? Who is this?
Chicago.
Oh, Chicago. Okay.
Okay. There's a good theme there. All right, listen. I'm going to start off going to an easy layup here. The New Orleans Saints are the worst team in the league, surprisingly, to Jets fans. New Orleans Saints
sure about that?
It's close. Carolina actually has good offense, and the Saints had one wide receiver. He is now gone. So Carolina, even minus 5.5 to New Orleans. I think they're going to blow them out of the water. I'm taking Carolina minus 5.5 versus New Orleans. The game of the weekend, I think, is Tampa Bay and New England. Tampa Bay's only given minus 2.5. I think it's a toss-up. But I do love Tampa in this game. Home field advantage. Just to, I just like Tampa Bay. So minus 2.5, I'm taking them over New England. Then I'm going to MetLife.
Come on in. Join the party.
I'm going to MetLife.
Let's go.
You don't know who's going to win?
No.
But I do. Cleveland, minus 2.5 all day, baby. The same thing with New Orleans. They got rid of the best player. Sauce, I'm not sure if he was the best player.
But they just won without Sauce. He didn't play against the Bengals, to be fair.
He's got Quentin Williams is gone now. So let's listen. This is going to be a terrible game. I'm taking Cleveland, though, minus 2.5 at MetLife. They still haven't won a game yet, by the way, at home, just like the Rangers. Now, speaking of the other team from New York, going to Chicago, the Giants, it was a good story. It's running out of steam. I'm taking Chicago minus 4.5.
Oh, you always go with the 4-teamers.
Oh, yeah. I took a 4-teamer.
He is
of
leading.
Course.
All right, I know, but still.
And he did win the first year. He's got some ground to stand on.
I just want to rub it in.
All right, I'm going with a 2-teamer, and here's the reason why. Because I feel like the last couple of weeks I've been close, but I want to cash one. I want to feel how it feels to hit again. I need to get that feeling of cashing one out, and then maybe from there I can start to open it up a little bit, go 3-team, 4-team. I'm also not going to panic. He's got a 60-something point lead on me. I'm not worried about that just yet. So I'm going to check it down and go 2-teamer here. Get that cash feeling. Number one, I agree with Hoff. I disagree with his take on New Orleans. I thought about going with the Saints, but I'm just not going to touch them. I'm not getting in bed with a bad team here. I am going to take the Bucs at home, minus 2.5. I think the Patriots have been highly overrated. They're fortunate that the Atlanta Falcons are an embarrassment. Otherwise, they should have lost that game at home. Also, while the Patriots can be good, and they are good, and I do respect them, even good teams lose games. The Bucs are very good themselves. The Bucs are at home. Give me Tampa over the Patriots, minus 2.5 at home. Game number 2, give me the Lions. Big bounce back. Now, I'm usually not a big believer in laying a lot of points, but in this particular case, I'm not a believer in Dan Quinn, never have been, never will be. And that's even before he got hired with Atlanta. I didn't like the hire, so it's not just a blown Super Bowl. Never been a believer in Dan Quinn. Now everybody else is starting to follow suit. Marcus Mariota, one of the worst quarterbacks that I've seen. Backup or not, I don't care. And when you're going up against a good team like that, it doesn't matter if you're at home or not. The Lions are going to be angry, awful loss, getting embarrassed at home by a division opponent in Minnesota. I think the Lions are going to explode on Washington this weekend. So a nice, simple 2-team parlay. Bucs, good team, at home against another good team, sure. But give me the Bucs minus 2.5 over New England. New England stubs their toe a little bit. And give me the Lions in a big way, big bounce back way on the road, minus 7.5 at Washington. As for the straight up wins, I'm going to do this for one last time. Give me the Giants. You know, if my theory was that I thought they were going to beat the Niners and the Bears, I'm not going to get away from that just because they played pathetically against the Niners. I also don't believe in the Bears. I think the Bears stink. So it's a toss-up to me. I'm going to go with the Giants, and I'm going to go with the Browns. Unfortunately, I think the Browns get the win over the Jets at MetLife.
Okay, I'm going to take the Chicago Bears, and I'll take the Jets. Do I really believe? I mean, listen, how anybody has any definitive feel for that game is beyond me. But because Hoff went with the Browns, and probably maybe try to steal 5 points, whatever. And it is kind of a coin flip game. Give me the Jets and give me the Bears.
Hoff, you're giant. Bears and Browns.
Yeah, I'm just done picking the New York teams.
I wish we were done talking about it.
Which is a good philosophy. All right, so there you have it. Last week, Hoff was 2-2. I was 2-1. BT was 0-0. Did not send in those picks.
So you're doing that little check down, little 5-yard flats, move the sticks.
I want to
slowly move upfield.
When you start, I keep going 2-1, and it's frustrating. So I want to let me just hit and get some points on the board here.
A little momentum.
Get some confidence. Let me take the layup. Not that a 2-team parlay is a layup, because if it were, we'd be hitting those every week. But I want to get that, start to maybe put a little pressure back on Hoff, separate further from you potentially, and then we could decide who's going to be dressing up as what when the time comes at the end of the year. All right, BT and Sal on the fan. Look at Hoff smiling. Come on.
I feel good about it.
Yeah, you hit one. I mean, maybe he's got the best theory for this perfect
just
parlay.
Just throw a dart and then hopefully it hits.
Yeah, every week of the 18 weeks, go the 4-teamer. You hit one.
You in good shape.
And I also like the fact that I stay active no matter what, even when I'm sick. It's like, I know BT, couldn't find time to text us his picks, nor could he text us that we had a red carpet appearance.
Yeah. You guys aren't going to let this one go with the A-Rod, no, huh?
Never.
All right, fair enough.
Do we think we should change the... Do we think we should change the... We had to change it once after the first year.
What?
The value of the 4-teamer. Because I was trying to... No, because I was trying...
Let me hear his thought. What do you mean? Make it more or less?
No, less. Because I was trying to decentivize him from just going 14.
Okay.
So where the difference from a 3-team to a 4-team, it is 50 points, but the odds are you're much better off trying for a 3-teamer. But he's just breaking the system. It's not fun to me to have him just continue to throw out 4-teamer, and then the odd chance that he gets lucky and hits one.
Hold on a second, though.
Yeah.
But, my record this year, what's my record overall?
It's a couple of games under 500, I think.
17.
10-12 last time I remember.
17.
Oh, okay.
And that's a lot of picks. It's 34 picks. I've hit half of them.
Agreed.
It's pretty good.
Not bad.
No,
and I've had a couple offers.
I'm not knocking your picks. What I'm saying is
you're knocking your approach.
Well, but the approach might be the right one, which means maybe the system I have in place is not the right one. Because just throwing 4-teamers there, Hoff, with your picks, with your better pick, if you were taking some 3-teamers, maybe you'd have 300 points by now.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Or if he didn't do the 4-teamer, he'd be in third place maybe. I mean,
all right, but that's what I'm saying.
This is the way I look at it. Yeah. Hey, you know what? And there's some like unwritten rules, like don't shoot the ball at the end of a game, or don't drop down a bunt in a no-hitter. Stop him. Yeah, you have an issue with it. Stop him. Beat him.
Here's my philosophy, right? So it's like fantasy football. If I have a lot of good bench guys, but I like the guys that have been starting all season, I'm not going to start the bench guys because I want to change things up. I got to ride out the guys that I stuck with.
Now, to be fair, 1 year he came in first. Last year he came in last. And this year it's week 10. We've had 9 weeks so far and you're in first. I wouldn't be taking my bows just yet. So you're right. Yes, beat him. But you know what I'm saying. There's a feel like you and I very rarely go for a 4-teamer. He's doing it every week.
I know. And listen, I don't think it bothers me as much as it bothers you, but we all have to acknowledge he doesn't do a speck of research.
What?
I mean, come on. You even told us the first year you went on the mascots, the colors. Come on, man. You're just throwing darts. Now, if it works, bro.
What gives you that idea?
It shows you it doesn't matter, though.
I know. Well, yeah. I mean, maybe there's a flaw in the spirit of the rules of the game, but he's not. Now, he might be exploiting the rules, but he's not circumventing or cheating. He's doing within the parameters of what you established 2 years ago. It's your fault.
Here's what I will say, Hoff. If I win, I'm going to put you through a lot of pain with your costume because of your 4-teamers every week. That's my way to get him back.
Is that the revenge?
Yeah, whether it's Andre the Giant singlet, something that's going to show that bare chest of yours.
Guess what, though, bro? I'm in first place right now.
That is correct.
Okay? And most likely the way it's been going is BT's going to find his way in the middle.
Ooh.
So you're going to be dead last. So he's going to make sure that you are the worst outfit.
I don't know
make sure that this year
going to find his way in the middle.
I like that. You're 50 points away.
BT's been a rough year.
I was also thinking that, a little axe and smash demolition men type of thing would be the way to go this year. You're both screwed.
Right, how about the Nasty Boys?
Yeah. No, too much clothing.
That's true, too. The Road Warriors?
All right.
like that. Here we go.
We'll take a break, come back, finish up all the phones. 888-808. We'll give you a player to watch this weekend as well. 888-808-1019. BT and Sal on the Fan.
All right, operating engineers, local 825 for the men and women who make our region move. So whether it's roads, bridges, or your favorite team stadium, they build and they maintain the critical transportation, water, and energy infrastructure that we all rely on to get where we have to get. That's why their advocacy organization, ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, fights for those priorities every day. That's ELEC, representing these signatory contractors and the hardworking men and women who build New York and New Jersey.
This is Andrew Perloff with an Odyssey Sports Minute. The story of the year so far in the NBA is Victor Wembanyama towering over people and also being great. But in the not-too-distant future, Wemby could have company up in the clouds. Last night, 7'9" Olivier Ryu entered the game for Florida and became the tallest player in college hoops history. The 19-year-old Canadian Ryu has never scored a point. But if he does get to the NBA and faces Wemby, it'll be a heck of a visual. I'm Andrew Perloff.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next-day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
COVID-19 has cast a spotlight on the stark inequalities that drive poverty. The poorest communities in the U.S. and around the world are suffering the most. Oxfam believes we can put systems in place to protect health and livelihoods in the future if we work together with dignity and compassion. Learn how you can help offer safety to the most vulnerable and fight for a more resilient future at oxfamamerica.org. Sponsored by Oxfam America.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done, with precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Hey, New Yorkers! Fast, reliable internet can be yours when you switch to Fios. For a limited time, combine Fios Home Internet and one line of mobile for just $69.99 a month. Get unlimited welcome for $50 a month with autopay plus taxes and fees when you bring your phone. And add Fios 300 megabytes per second for $19.99 a month with autopay, mobile plus discount, and bonus discount. Visit your tri-state area Verizon store today to get this limited time offer and switch to our reliable 100% fiber optic 5G network. Fios, for eligible new Fios Internet and mobile customers. Both the $15 monthly discounts for Fios and Bring Your Phone applied over 36 months. Mobile and home discount enrollment required. $99 Fios setup charge applies. For unlimited welcome, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic in times of congestion. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
The wait is over. AC/DC's back live. Power Up Tour, Friday, September 25th. MetLife Stadium with the Pretty Reckless. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Friday, September 25th, MetLife Stadium. Don't miss AC/DC.
Hear that? That's the beginning of a journey powered by the confidence that comes from driving a vehicle so reliable. It's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Where your journey ends? Well, that's up to you. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia, movement that inspires.
See retailer for warranty details. Always drive safely.
Limited inventory available.
Hey guys, if you're ready to pop the big question, discover why 5 generations have purchased their diamonds from H.L. Gross Jewelers of Garden City. Since 1910, the Gross family has been the place Long Island gets engaged, and where you'll find all the latest styles and rings and a huge selection of GIA-certified diamonds. Save yourself all the hassle and come to H.L. Gross, where you'll get the guaranteed best price, as well as the best education and guidance in picking out the perfect ring. H.L. Gross Jewelers, Long Island's premier bridal ring store at 840 Franklin Avenue in Garden City, or at hlgross.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Call of the day with Brendan Tierney and Sal Licata on The Fan.
Today's call of the day brought to you by Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts. Steve is in Fairport, New York. What's up, Steve?
Hey, Stevie.
BT and Sal, Sidney Sweeney's favorite.
Top of the list.
Let's talk about John Mara and what John Mara cares about. He cares about the legacy of the Giants, he cares about his players, and he cares about the stadium and the fan base. Legacy. Those 2 yam heads go out and throw up one of the worst seasons in New York Giant history, if not the worst, when they're celebrating their 100-year anniversary. Number 1. Number 2, you're right. They go on Hard Knocks, and they embarrass the organization to the point where they are laughing in Mara's face when he begs them not to get rid of Saquon, when he says he won't sleep if they go to Philly. Shane says to him, he ain't going to Philly. We're going to be okay. How did that turn out? Super Bowl and an MVP.
Okay.
Last season, too, they were banking on Daniel Jones. He had to have a good season. So how do they start the kid off? They start him off by letting him watch Hard Knocks and looking at them joyfully trying to replace him. And he ends the season playing safety on the practice squad for a week before he gets picked up.
I forgot about
that. You want to talk about an embarrassment. And then finally, the stadium and the fan base, your 23-year-old possible superstar franchise quarterback just said at a press conference last week essentially how embarrassing it was that the San Francisco 49er fans were affecting their play.
There you have it. Call of the day. In case you missed anything, check it out on the free Odyssey app. We even got into some baseball stuff, you and I, BT. That was fun. Talking some hot stove, whether it be Trent Grisham with the Yanks, some Jeff McNeil and Mark Vientos potentially being replacements for Pete Alonso at first base. So in case you missed anything on this jam-packed Football Friday, check it out on the free Odyssey app. BT and Sal, player to watch. Sponsored by ELEC 825, Building Our Future. Collars & Co., the original dress collar polo.
You know, I was thinking about going with Daniel Jones because I'm curious how he bounces back, but I'm not. I'm going to go with Drake May. And you touched on this game as well. I looked into this game. I have been touting the Patriots for a while, going back really 5 weeks. I'm like, this team's pretty good. We'll get a sense of how good they are this weekend. I didn't touch it, though, because I'm not sure how Drake May is going to respond against a Todd Bowles complex defense. You know, the numbers are scintillating. He's sitting on 75% of his passes. 75% Drake May. Year 2 with like 22, 23 career starts. Bunch of touchdowns. I think it's 17 or 18. Only 4 picks. This is a different spot. It's going to be hot. Good defense. Drake May. I'm very curious how he plays.
You know, I'm going to go somebody on the Giants defense. We've done this a couple of times, and I like your idea about Daniel Jones. I was thinking the same thing, and plus that's a standalone game being in Berlin or wherever it is in the morning there, but still, Colts, Falcons, whatever. I'm going to go Kayvon Thibodeau here because I believe if the Giants have a chance to win, and I picked them to win this game, I don't think the Bears are very good, and I don't think Caleb Williams is very good. Somebody's got to wreak havoc. Last week I went with Dexter Lawrence, all the talk, all the speculation. organization. They were terribly disappointing. Brian Burns seems ticked off. He would be too easy to watch. He's had the successful year. Maybe Kayvon can emerge this weekend and get to Caleb Williams and lead the way. It's got to be led by the defense. We know what Jackson Dart could do. We know what the Giants offense could do. It's got to be led by the defense. I'm not there yet with Abdul Carter, but one of those two guys. But I'm going to focus on Kayvon Thibodeau, seeing if he could have his presence felt and really wreck this game as far as getting in that backfield and getting to Caleb Williams. So I'm going to focus on Thibodeau ahead of this weekend. By the way, tonight, Hoff's got some charity event that he asked me to go to as a special bartender. Where is this, Hoff? You're dragging me to Eastchester. Oh. He asked. Hoff, where is it? Is Hoff listening to us right now? Probably not. Where is this event? It's today that you got me going to? Mickey Spallini's, where is it?
First of all, I always listen to you guys.
Yeah.
I just sometimes drift in and out.
Okay.
So Mickey Spillane's, it's in Eastchester.
Spillane's? I thought it was Spallini's.
No, it's Spillane's.
No, it's Spillane's.
Was I saying that wrong?
That's the Italian way
isn't
of saying it.
Isn't there one in the city, too? Or there was? Spillane's. Okay. Mickey
Spillane apostrophe.
Okay.
Spillane's.
Yes, so there's a charity event up in Eastchester, which I do every year, which is awesome. It's for SEPTA. That's a special education PTA for our Eastchester School District. But I was lucky enough to convince Sal to come up there. We are going to be behind the bar from 8:45 to 9:30.
You go, and you're going to come back and do your show drunk. Nice.
Well,
we're going to serve, not drink.
Yeah,
I got to drive home.
If I drank at the event, then yes. But I do it every year where I have to come and do a host afterwards.
I remember you talking about this last year.
Yeah, I've never done it before. And then if it weren't him, I wouldn't be doing it. He's like, hey, November 7th, this was like a month ago. I'm like, all right, for you, I'll go up there and do it. But I've never done that before.
Never jumping out of a bar and
never.
Said, oh, God.
No, I barely am on the other side of the bar. Go behind it. Come on,
It's easy. Just load them up, make them doubles. Just stick with the basic stuff.
Surf sides, hand out the surf sides?
Well, that's easy, like a beer or a tap or, a can of something. But if you get like a chocolate martini, good luck, buddy.
Well, I tell the bartenders, the other bartenders to do that. I just tend to give them a lot of product away for free. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do that, but I always forget to collect the money.
Either way, I'll follow your lead and I'll get the hell out of there and go home and start my weekend. Now, you got what? The Johnnies tomorrow night?
I got St. John's Bama tomorrow at noon.
Oh, noon?
I'll be coming into the city. I'll probably be here about 9:30 or so. Probably leave around about 9. Noon tip. Johnny's obviously loaded. Bama's a top 15 team. There's, I think last I checked, there's about 17,000 tickets already out, and it seats about 19. So there's about 2,000 short of a sellout, which they think they will get. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Like Alabama, that's Nate Oates. Good style, man. You guys follow college basketball. You know that they're good. They want to shoot within 9 seconds. So you got St. John's and 9 or 10 athletes getting up and down the court. You know what Rick's bringing to the table.
Yeah.
This Alabama team they have some injuries, but they've got a lot of good, explosive players, and the pace should be out of this world.
I heard Coach Pitino talking about that on Boomer and Gio. Oddly enough, I see you in what appears to be brand new St. John's sweater from Adidas.
Oh, yeah.
Gio was wearing one this morning.
Did they bring that in? No, they didn't bring this in for me. I came home and I had, they always take care of, obviously. I mean, they sent me a box of stuff because I had all Nike stuff. I'm like, come on. Listen, there's a lot of digital imprints with me wearing the wrong logo, so I just made him feel guilty. So the next day I had a big box of Adidas stuff.
Which I understand, but all I know is I don't see anything around my desk. I
got you St. John stuff.
No, you have in the past. I'm saying Coach Pitino, they came in with the big box for Boomer and Gio. They're on the show. You get your stuff over there.
Well, I mean, I've been doing it for 20 years. I'm getting it before those guys next door. I don't care what they got from him. I mean, please, I've been in the trenches when they sucked. They just jumped on now.
Let's finish up with one call here.
Johnny's a good? Yeah, come on in, Rick.
Yeah, exactly right. Mark is calling from Oceanside. What's up, Mark?
Gentlemen, have a good weekend, first of all.
You too, man.
BT.
Yes.
The proposal of Luis Angel Acuna at second base will never fly. Guy can't hit the ball out of the infield. He's only a pinch runner and defensive replacement. And for you, Sal.
Yeah, but Mark, you don't. First of all, we don't know that, and also, I love Luis Angel Acuna as a player because I value his speed and his defense. If it is in addition to or as a complement to an otherwise loaded offensive lineup, why would you have an issue with it? I don't need guys who can hit 20 home runs up and down the order. I want some versatility. Luis Angel Acuna batting ninth. If he can improve his offense a little bit, I'm okay with that defense and speed.
He's got to improve it a lot. And for you, Sal, I'm fine with losing Alonso, but we need somebody to do two things. Be hit behind Soto and hit for RBIs.
Right. And who's going to do that better than Pete? And thank you for the call, Mark. And that's kind of the point, which you can make an argument, BT, you had, even before this offseason, you don't replace Alonso pound for pound.
No, you don't go and get somebody with 40 home runs and 120 ribbies. What you do is you split the pie, and you get better in multiple spots. And if they were to do, and this is how I would run the Mets right now, I would take the $30-something million or whatever it might be that they might have earmarked for Pete, and I would split that up, and I would address 3 or 4 holes rather than it all going to Pete. That's what I would do.
The problem is you could say that with the Yankees because the Yankees have multiple guys who can hit with power. The Mets don't. Pete Alonso is their premier power hitter. And what he does has been consistent as far as home runs and RBI, especially behind Juan Soto. Who is protecting Juan Soto if not Pete? So I'm not saying you got to keep him. All I'm saying is I value that bat. And if you move on from that bat, then maybe it's one of the guys from Japan. I mean, that's a big deal. But again, that's a question mark.
But didn't we learn anything from Toronto? Put the ball in play, knock it around, foul pole to foul pole. We just want. No, I know they didn't win, but look at what they just did. I think there's a different way to build a team, but I think for the first time, really, I think that Stearns is leaning into that. But we got about a month or so. We'll find out what Pete's doing.
Looking forward to continuing the hot stove conversation next week. Thanks to Rami Lavi filling in for Dove. Thanks to Hoff. As always, check him out tonight at Mickey Spillane's in Eastchester. I'll be there with Spillane's. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Be there in Eastchester later on this evening. Thanks to everybody who listened and called. We appreciate each and every one of you. Evan and Tiki, they're coming up next.